Good morning to most, good afternoon to others, and good evening to our viewing audience across the pond. I am your host, Jason Miles, and welcome to another episode of This is Revolution Podcast. If you're a returning listener, subscriber, fuck yeah. So glad to have you here, especially a day like today where we open up the phone lines to everyone, not just patrons. This isn't a special music show. We want to hear what you guys have to say about any and everything. Joining me in this mission is my co-host, my homie, my dog. He is the man of the Mount Hour. He is the Pascal Robert.
Peace and greetings to the audience. Peace and greetings to the chat. Peace and greetings, Jason Miles.
How are you?
Well, what's up?
Are you feeling well rested and ready to go?
Ready to go.
And she is not just the only woman that works on this show, but she is the only voice of reason, M. Tucson. Are you on mute?
There I go. Can you hear me?
Hey.
I wasn't on mute.
Yeah, there you go. What were you doing?
Huh? I think it took a while for me to get onto the screen.
It's killing me.
She was eating fried chicken.
Thank you. She was doing some Haitian BS.
She was eating fried chicken.
Can you get off of the other line with whatever you're doing? Did you just put the show on call waiting? You totally put the show on call waiting. I didn't even know that could happen in real life.
Put down the fried chicken.
Tucson, are you ready to take some call? Are you ready to take some call? Are you ready?
Did you call in already?
I'm going to call in right now. I do want to warn people, if you hear my voice, I was hoping it was just maybe some sort of cold, maybe because I've been talking so much. I did 3 shows on Tuesday. And we've been keeping to our normal schedule. And then yesterday, very early in the morning, I did an interview for Radio Free Winnipeg. That should be coming out next week. I'm excited about that. And I became part of the Means TV family officially. So the contract is signed. The money will roll right in.
That's
really. But hopefully these video essays get out to a larger audience, and finally some of the ones that I've been working on for a very long time, like kayfabe, will finally see the light of day. So I'm excited for that. Are you excited, guys? You guys look so excited.
Yes, sir.
Tucson,
Yep.
Be entertaining while I turn the phone lines on.
Alrighty.
Tucson, start breakdancing.
Here, I'll help you guys out. You guys could have been real funny and just talked Haitian Creole the whole time. That would have been hilarious. Read an article in the front page of the LA Times this morning about Kamala Harris's record on immigration and how Kamala Harris is going to be better on immigration than Joe Biden because of her history when she was a DA in California and when she was a senator and when she was AG. I don't think so. I think she's an empty pantsuit. I think people like to put a lot on her that the raisin bonus sealed the deal. I can't even really get that many raisins, guys. It wasn't that big, but there'll be some changes. You ever see me wear a watch? That's how you know you have too much money if you have a watch on.
If you have a watch on?
If you have a watch, you have too much money. Never Pascal.
Don't trust anyone who doesn't wear a watch.
Pascal disappeared. Did he fall back and became the background? But Kamala fought to keep California a sanctuary city and not have law enforcement work with ICE. She wanted to have some reforms of ICE, but not get rid of it altogether. I don't think, again, she's going to be much different. She didn't show up to the Netanyahu speech, yet she delivered that statement that said she stands with Israel. So I feel like she's trying to play both sides. And I think she's such an empty vessel that she might be able to do that in an election. What do you think, Tucson, while I get this online turned on?
I'm surprised people don't think that she's going to be better on immigration because she's half Indian. I mean, I guess it's not the same argument. You're actually using her record, but I don't know how hard it is to be better than Joe Biden. Pascal says he got disconnected. He's trying to come back in.
What the hell?
We can see your background, but we can't see you. Okay. We can hear you, though.
You hear me?
Yeah.
What's happened to the camera? What are you saying?
Kamala Harris, people are saying that Kamala Harris is going to be better than Joe Biden on immigration.
I don't think she's going to be better than Joe Biden on anything. I think she's going to be basically following his policies tit for tat, and that she's not an ideologue. She doesn't strike me as someone who has any ideology she's trying to follow, except just being the first black woman president.
Right. She's more of an opportunist.
Exactly, a careerist.
A careerist, yeah. Yeah, she's got no real agenda for this. Both of her parents were immigrants. That's true, Dusty. Thank you.
Yep. Both of them were academics.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's gonna have any bearing on this. I don't think she has any special sympathy for immigrants.
No, I don't. I doubt that there's going to be any kind of mystical, magical policies coming out of Kamala Harris that is going to make anyone. I mean, I'm seeing people who are progressive to the left, people from DSA, saying, "Thank God it's her," and thank God Biden is resigning. And I'm like, why? Why do you think? Why is exactly considered to be such a major coup that Kamala Harris is filling in for Joe Biden? I don't understand what kind of assumption people are making that she somehow is a more progressive alternative.
I think it's like with Obama, how people are projecting onto her. They're imagining that she's more progressive than she is, which they also did with Joe Biden, even though they had his record.
I mean, she's going to be an easy avatar, I think. You have this kind of revival of Riot Girl stuff. I see Kim Gordon and Kathleen Hanna endorsing the rebellious spirit of Kamala Harris.
What?
Oh, dude, watch. Just watch. I think people put a lot on her. Like, they love to try to point to her DA record, but when you really look at her DA record, it's pretty bland. She didn't really do anything crazy.
Well, I mean, people were expecting a lot from her during the Brett Kavanaugh trial. and she didn't really do anything there either. They put a lot of stock in her having been a DA.
Because she was going to do that ooh girl stuff. And that's when she started positioning herself for office.
Mm-hmm. She
'Cause
wrote her
remember
name.
was it Facebook hearing? When she was getting all on Mark Zuckerberg?
Mm.
She seems. I mean, the whole. Did you see the way they whittled out the Obama announcement? It seems so contrived. I was like, this is so fake, man. These people are like, hey, Kamala. Hey, here's got Michelle on the phone. Hey, girl. Just want to let you know I'm behind you. Me and Barack, we've been waiting for this moment. It's like you guys were just trying to get Biden out of office forever. What are you talking about? Like, give me a break. It's just so contrived.
Mm.
Oh, and I did actually dig up an article about the whole proposed keeping inmates sentences longer to fight forest fires in the early 2010s.
Really?
Kamala claims she didn't know anything about it and then pulled the whole idea. And it was done by her office. And if you look up all articles on it, it says her office. Kamala goes, I didn't know. In my office, they proposed with the wardens to extend these sentences. So if she didn't know, then she's as incompetent as we say which she is. And if she did know, then she's the careerist that we say she is. Either way, you really have to understand you're just getting a standard rank and file politician who probably might be historically better on immigration. We have to remember she comes from California, and not just California. She comes from the Bay Area, which is more progressive on immigration on the whole. And you have a constituency that you have to play to. So,
I mean,
Hmm.
the bottom line is that everyone was like, well, look at the alternative. I mean, it's Joe, it's Donald Trump, it's fascism. You gotta get Kamala in there. Oh, come on.
I mean, I just want to see Hillary Clinton's face. Hillary Clinton is going to look like Boss Hogg at the end of a Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Oh my gosh.
If Kamala Harris wins, she's like, I lost to a Muslim nigger, an Indian nigger.
I think Hillary Clinton has resigned herself to a position is trying and going to try to play chess, chess player behind the scenes.
But, they're just using her old pantsuit pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were Hillary, wouldn't you feel a little like Boss Hogg if you were Hillary? Those damn Duke boys did it again.
Hillary's a podcaster now?
Everybody's a fucking podcaster now.
She's our
Hillary,
colleague.
she was fundamentally unlikable, man.
Very. Kamala Harris is going to be Oprah Winfrey.
Ugh.
Watch.
That doesn't say much to me.
I didn't say it like she's going to win Negress of the Year. I'm just saying she's going to be like Oprah Winfrey.
She Negress of the Year, though.
She's about to be Negress of the Year right now. Does she go back on the Breakfast Club? That's a better question.
That's right.
Nah, I think she did her time at the breakfast.
That'll derail her whole campaign if she goes back on the Breakfast Club. You know why? Because you just can't talk to those two coons because they just ruin a real conversation. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like when Larry Elder was on there and he kind of, I don't want to say owned, but made a very astute point when they tried to call Larry Elder a white man's N-word.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
like, Joe Biden looked you right in the eye and said, "You're not black if you don't vote for him. Aren't you the white man's N-word?" I was like, ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh. if Larry Elder gets a aha moment on you, I don't think you're that bright. If you let Hillary Clinton walk in and tell you that she keeps hot sauce in her purse, I would have emptied the purse in front of her and asked for the hot sauce. What'd you say?
Hillary Clinton likes that. Apparently, she eats peppers, like for fun.
I mean, she's from the South, isn't she?
No, she's from
From
Illinois.
Illinois.
Oh, but I mean, how long was she there with Bill Clinton?
Arkansas.
Yeah,
A long time.
She's a fake baby.
I mean, she's there long enough to appreciate gravy.
Didn't she have prisoners serve her gravy at the governor's house?
As she watched a man die. Serve me the sausage gravy as the execution commences. The phone lines are open. The number is area code 510-319-1899. Again, the number is area code 510-319-1899. How famous do I have to get on the Breakfast Club? I would love to get on the Breakfast Club.
Would you?
Yeah.
You just called them those two coons.
Exactly. I could say it to their faces.
Just imagine two raccoons on the radio.
I be done seen about everything. That's every time I see a clip from that show, that's the first thing I think is those two crows from Dumbo. Hear those guys go. The racist crows from Dumbo are at it again. Would Kamala's dad go on Breakfast Club or TIR first? Kamala's dad is not speaking to anyone. They have him on a very big don't let this man talk leash.
Yep.
He hit him up several times over the last 3 years and got no response.
He doesn't want to get involved in the politics.
He probably doesn't. I mean, look, I'd be juiced if my daughter was president. Even if she did have a crap platform. I'd be like, my daughter's president. I'm speeding. Don't tell me shit. You wouldn't do that? I'm not paying for anything. My daughter's president. What you finna do? Arrest me? Presidential bitch.
That's so funny. Are you gonna tell your daughter she can be president now?
Damn, oh, you think I told her she couldn't? Oh, honey, because of your vagina, you have to know your place. Maybe one day, if you find a good man you can stand behind, then maybe, just maybe, you'll be worthwhile as a human.
I doubt Jason talks to Junior like that.
No. Not at all.
Try like rock out.
No, not at all. I did not say that to my daughter at all, but it would be funny if I did say that to her. And then while I'm saying that, the boys are like playing with their boogers. I'm like, but you young men, you young men will be titans of industry because of your penises.
After Barack got into office, I told my mom that she could tell my brother that he could be president. And she was like, your brother's not going to be president. Like, okay.
Speaking of president, this man is the president of Iraqistan. Please welcome Mean Gene Bajlan. You're muted.
There he is.
Mean Gene. Oh, he's still trying to figure it out. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, how is it going?
Gene Barzon.
Gene, are you excited for Kamala Harris? Did Sarah get a pantsuit?
Sarah's in Florida. I'm cleaning my house out, doing a big spring clean while the kids are away. I have everything everywhere. But despite all that, I'm ready for the coconuts. The White House is going to be smelling of, coconut oil and, all that good stuff.
Just black hair care products. I mean, Michelle Obama and them other little Negro children had a lot of product in their hair.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And usually it smells.
Afro Sheen products.
Oh, a lot of Afro Sheen products. Pink oil moisturizer.
Imagine what it's going to smell like if JD Vance with that. It's going to be semen. I'll take the coconut oil. But no, I don't really care about this presidential election one bit. I'm kind of just going to ignore it. I'm just really interested in watching how MSNBC have embraced Middle Eastern style ethnic sectarianism. And it's like, and we're going to have South Asians for Kamala. We're going to have divorced white men for Kamala. We're going to have
divorced white men for Kamala.
Actually, no, that's probably the only demographic that's going to
that she can lose.
That she's going to lose by 90%.
I think if she has, I think Kamala Harris, because let's be honest. Let's just be honest here. She's one of the more attractive people in office.
Oh,
she can win the divorce dad vote.
Oh, maybe she can win it on the down low.
She's gonna set herself up as the thirst trap Oprah. That's what we're gonna call her.
Thirst trap Oprah. Well, they've really marketed her well, Jason Miles. Really well.
Right. I've been saying this.
She's not very charismatic last time around. Her campaign was kind of a crash. She seemed to believe nothing. But I guess after people watching Joe Biden, sunset on the debate stage, people were ready.
It's funny that it's her because, to your point, I think she was so horrible. But I was talking with a friend the other day, and she was like, this is a very different time than it was in 2019, 2020 when she was trying to run. She seemed very conservative. I think she's going to be a different person in the sense of that charisma, but I don't think she lasts very long in office. I think she's going to win. I don't think she's going to last very long in office.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
I think it's going to be like Trump. The moment she gets in, everyone's going to get pissed at her because she's going to say something stupid.
Well, we don't even know. This campaign season we still got 100 days to go, 99 days to go. So there's still a lot that could happen in these 99 days. Things could happen. I mean, Trump is kind of blathering more and more. JD Vance comes off as, the couch fucking thing is going to sink him, right?
Can you explain the couch fucking?
I don't really know, but it's just I saw a thing in the AP about apparently they said that they can't prove that he didn't fuck a couch. So, but he comes off of
what kind of story is that?
You know that quote about the quote about the cat women. You know where he made that quote? On that crazy woman's podcast, the crazy Australian woman, Amy Teresi.
Oh,
the one who brought.
He's on Amy Teresi's podcast.
He went on Amy Teresi's podcast, and that's where they picked up all those crazy things. J.D. Vance, A, I don't believe he believes half the shit he's saying. C, B, that's what happens when you get too much online brain, where you think the massive support for shitting on single women. And it's like, dude, the only people who are listening to you are divorced dads, right? And teenagers. That's who the demographic is. Angry, and it's not even all divorced dads. I mean, maybe Doug Lane would be, in the JD Vance coalition, but
I was thinking about doing a show with you, Gene.
Yeah,
Gene, I wanted to do a show with you and Doug.
Why?
And
why?
I love the way he said why. When you know Gene and you understand when he says why like that. I wanted to do a show with you and Doug, and I was going to call it Doug Lane Responds to His Detractors. and then you just have a list of things that he said, and you go over them.
I have no critiques of Doug Lane.
Yo, I know it's just you are the host because only you can do that show justice. That's why he's holding his mouth right now. He's holding his tongue. And there's like Doug Lane responds his detractors, and it just give Doug a space, where he can respond to his detractors.
No, I think actually when we talk about the divorced dad demographics, it's about whether you won the divorce or not, right?
Ooh.
Because like Doug Lane won the divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
You won you were married, right? You won the divorce. Look, you're just out there with all the women. You got like just living the dream.
Yeah.
Did Doug Lane win the divorce?
I mean, I think we could say Doug Lane won his divorce. He's got a nice partner. He has a good relationship with his kids. He's not like Elon Musk in it and having like all kinds of drama. I think that's called winning the divorce, right? No?
Yeah, that's true.
If you have a nice partner and a good relationship with your children, I think that's the main thing. That's what you want.
The financial situation tells a lot.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I'm just talking about the emotional situation. You know what I mean?
Custody with the kids tells a lot too.
Well, it's not about custody. Doug's kids are grown, but it's like about having like a good relationship with them. You know, if you're a real asshole, your kids will be like, "Fuck you! I don't want to have anything to do with you." And even if you do get custody, when they grow up, they'll be like, they get to 18, and they'll be like, "Actually, mom or dad, whoever has, I hate you. You sucked. You screwed over the other partner," or things like that. So when we even talk about the divorced dad demographic for JD Vance, really what we're talking about are people who are burnt out on relationships, who've had, or who can't take responsibility for the stuff that they did. I was back in the UK talking to one of my friends not so long ago. Don't put me big up on the screen. I haven't shaved. I was talking to one of my friends and we're talking about one of our mutual acquaintances who's gone down the kind of like QAnon Trump men's rights pathway, and it's all because like he got drunk at a party, hit on like a younger girl, like a girl who's like 15 years younger than him, and then got mad, and in the morning told his partner, "Oh, I'm leaving you. I don't love you, blah, blah, blah." And then when he tried to go back, she was like, "Actually, no, screw you. You fucking messed up big time." Right. And then he's like, blah, blah, blah. Women this, women that. Because there's this whole like industry online designed to groom men in their 30s and 40s who have been chewed up by relationships. And where it's, I mean, I see it on Facebook. I mean, I've clicked on them a couple of times, so I now get them all the time in my Facebook feed. And it's just videos of, like women are like this, they're all just after your money, or they're like superficial and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, like, what are you fucking talking about? There are superficial people here, left, right, and center. But that narrative out there, which is a social narrative, is being mobilized and picked up on by elements of the political right, where they're kind of offering the solution by talking about family and things like that. But a lot of these people who like talk about family and things like that, they couldn't hold down a family in the first place because they like are so misogynistic. It's not 1950. It's if you want to have a family, you have to, as a man, you have to be active in your child's life. You can't just like, dump all the work on the woman and then bugger off and to the smoking club,
Elks Lodge.
To the Elks Lodge, right?
The Elks Lodge.
Right. So, but this narrative is out there. Oh, we have a caller.
All right. So caller, when you guys are calling in, just to let you guys know, get your comment or question in, and then take your response off air, because for whatever reason, you guys are having a hard time hearing anyone other than me, and being that I can't really talk, can't be the Whoopi Goldberg for you this time. Sorry, guys. Not your magical Negro today. That being said, Toussaint, you want to push this call through?
Sure. Calling from a 612 area code. Caller, where are you calling from, and what is your name?
It's Ken from Minneapolis. I'm calling on behalf of the Care Raising Coalition for Kamala.
Go for it, Ken.
I'm one of those divorced white men whose partner is wearing a Kamala shirt now with a Kamala with a comma sign and a law at the end. And my question really to you guys and to those of you who still have parents around, the bigger parents, I was talking to my mom this past week, and she was perplexed at the potentiality of a Trump presidency. And that fear, and it was palpable. And it resonated with me. Even if I'm on the leftist spectrum, I can definitely feel the fear of people, and this collective sigh of relief that she has taken over. And I wanted to get how are your family feeling about this? If you've been talking or don't talk, that's what I'm curious about.
Did you guys hear that?
Not one word.
Toussaint, did you hear that?
A bit.
Can you adjust your? It sounds like you're talking into your chest.
Oh well, my microphone. I only have a
Ken?
webcam.
Oh, he hung up.
I only have a web.
Damn it! I couldn't tell if you got because I was trying to hear him. What did he say? It says something about his mom, and his mom said Trump was going to be president, and he's a leftist.
He was talking about how he was having fear of Trump being president was driving his politics.
Oh.
And there was a collective sigh of relief when Kamala took over.
He said that? Or
I'm seeing that a lot with people on the left. There's a lot of leftists who are like jumping on board with Kamala now under the assumption that it's some kind of solution for Biden's conundrum. Gene, can you tell me, does Kamala Harris offer any kind of palliative to Joe Biden?
Well, I totally agree with you there, Pascal. I think a lot of people, look, we saw how Biden was performing, and then the polling came out, and then there was a kind of a doomerism around on the Democratic Party side, especially around the Republican National Convention, where it seemed that the momentum was with Trump, that he picked J.D. Vance, who at least initially seemed like a kind of interesting pick for him, somebody younger, somebody who was like going to energize the base. And then boom, we get hit with the 1-2 where Biden drops out. J.D. Vance turns out to be not ready for prime time. And I think Pascal is right. Whatever people's reservations might have been about Kamala Harris, this is less about Kamala Harris and more about Kamala stayed quiet during all this time, right?
Yes.
Never interrupt your enemies when they're making a mistake, right? So she just sat back, and people are now projecting on her, just as they did with Obama.
Yep.
Projecting on her their hopes and dreams because, the thought of another 4 years of a Trump presidency was not only, deeply distressing to the libs, but also to many elements of the left who are, in effect, just temporarily embarrassed Democrats, right? People might not like to admit it, but that's what they are. That's where their politics essentially is. And that's not even a critique. That's just like saying what it is. And I think, like you say, people were just happy that there was somebody who did not look as if they were, an embalmed body in a funeral parlor.
So Ken was asking, what are your family's feelings about the potential Trump future, was his question.
My family don't care. They don't live in America.
Wow. Well, how do they feel about Keir Starmer?
Well, my mom really wanted the Tories to go out. She was like, you better not vote Tory. I was like, why would I vote Tory?
Is Kamala Keir Starmer light?
I mean, I don't think it's the same as Keir Starmer. I think the Keir Starmer situation is, Keir Starmer has been waging a war on the political left in Britain ever since he became leader of the Labour Party, right? Kamala Harris has just been sitting back, chilling, going, doing, meeting and greeting, hanging out with union leaders, going to the what are they called, Pascal? The Jack and Jill and the super duper. What are they called? The Magical Eight.
Divine
Nine.
I like the Magical Eight better. I think Kamala's part of the Magical Eight.
The Magical Eight, Divine.
That's eight mixed Negroes.
And look,
all with good hair.
And the more the Republicans attack her, like, what are they going to attack her on? They're going to say she believes in nothing. Okay, but who believes in anything? They're going to say she slept her way to the top. Okay. I mean, so what, man?
Yeah, okay. That's not a bad thing in 2024.
Also, whatever, man. Like, she was hooking up with what's his name, Willie Brown. Willie Brown.
You there's nothing Trump can say against her.
Fuck, screws hookers,
Yeah. What is he gonna say? Oh, you're a dirty girl.
Dirty girl.
You grabbed pussies and walked in the office. You think her fucking, jerking off old dudes isn't gonna put her in a good light?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like whatever attack they have towards it. She dated Montel. That's like.
Oh wow, that's it. That's all you got. You dated an attractive, tall black man
who was a Marine, wasn't he?
Yeah, right. Very conservative, by the way.
Very
conservative.
So, the attacks that they haven't had 30 years to like demonize Kamala Harris in the same way that they did with Hillary Clinton, and the libs are gonna love it because they're gonna be able to do all the look, I'm a white woman and I'm voting for a black woman and black women are leaders. MSNBC are absolutely fucking loving it at the moment.
Well, let's go in the Wayback Machine to 2007 and 2008. And there was a feeling in the air of there was a change in America. I always talk about it. I lived with a family that were staunch Republicans, but cried. The mom cried during Obama's inauguration. So
why did you cry?
Because it was the black man becoming president.
It was America reconciling
their sins of the past. I have family members that didn't get to live to see that day that I wish would have at least saw the day, regardless of who the president was.
And then and now we're gonna go Kamala.
And now you can say there's a woman in a moment right now where women are dominating the conversation in sports, for example.
Who is black and Asian?
The women's Final Four had more people watching it than the men's Final Four.
But listen, let's be honest. The identity politics card is the last card the Democrats have to play to keep their game alive. They're going to go with the black man, the black woman, the Latino man, the Latino woman, the gay man, the gay woman, blah, 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 the Asian or Indian man or Indian woman. They've got to play this card because it is how they keep their ranks of professional managerial class acolytes in the game. Because what happens is that when the professional managerial class is made up of a diverse cadre of individuals, and you're not giving any kind of goods and services to the proletariat, all you're going to do is render the illusion of caring about the PMC by increasingly diversifying their power positionality. And it's like almost a university. It's like, oh, we can be happy now. We have such a diverse, the chairmanship of our history department is, a gay, transsexual, whatever you want to call it, so on and so forth. And you can keep shuffling that along. But at the bottom line, it doesn't change how power shifts on the Death Star.
Isn't a gay transsexual just straight?
I guess.
Stop, Gene. You're messing with people's identities here.
No, but I think Pascal's 100% right. I don't think you can just play the identity. I don't think you can just play the identity politics card willy-nilly, right? It can fall flat if it doesn't seem sincere or organic, or if it seems like highly performative. People don't buy it the same way they do, but they still buy it. Yeah, you have to put a bit more effort into how you sell that identity politics card, but Yeah, I kind of think. I mean, I thought the identity politics train was spent, but evidently I was wrong. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Evidently,
Don't ever think that. Don't ever think that.
yeah, I thought people had got wise to this game,
Yep.
but I think a lot of it is less about the identity politics and more about anti-Trumpism. And the identity politics is coming out as an expression of the optimism that now that they think they can defeat Trump.
And this is where I get a little sad. I think people in the online sphere that engage in a lot of these kinds of shows are going to feel so powerless because all that talk of we can move Biden left was still talk in the sense of there's power that we have, because look at how far we got with somebody like Bernie Sanders.
Mhm.
All that's gone, and you're gonna understand how like useless your tweets are, your
Aw.
petty beefs are.
Hey, can we talk about something that I want to bring up? I was having a conversation with a comrade about.
Uh-huh.
What do you guys make of the fact that AOC made a 54-minute statement about how important Joe Biden was and how loyal the squad was to Joe Biden right at the time that this guy resides and says, I'm not going to be running anymore. And she just has it just seems like egg all over her face. What was that about?
I mean, who knows, man? Like maybe they didn't want to be the ones accused of pushing Joe Biden out when he was pushed out. Maybe they're playing 20-degree chess. Maybe they were trying to hitch themselves to the Biden train. Maybe they're just not like freaking that good at politics and didn't send a win. Who even knows, right? I did a tweet about that went viral. Did you see that?
What happened?
I posted a tweet about Kamala and about AOC and Bernie.
What'd you say?
Oh wait, I'll put it up on the screen. Wait a second.
We had a call and the caller dropped out. Damn it.
Here we go. This was my post. I never get viral posts, but this one was.
Hey,
Oh, that was
funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I figured you might appreciate it. Okay, how do I turn that off? And
That's hella funny.
yeah, there we go. AOC defend. My friend told me he saw it on Blue Sky. Somebody had cut it and put it on Blue Sky. But anyway, I mean, who even knows, Pascal? What do you think? I mean, do you think they just might not be good at politics, or just misread the room?
I think that Bernie was so afraid of seeming like he was disloyal to Biden that he pushed his cadre to go above and beyond the call of duty in seeming loyal to Biden, even when it was not going to push forth any fruits to that crew. Because what's the allegation with the progressive faction that they don't play ball with the centrists and so on and so forth, and those progressives have been getting shred in elections. They've been getting shred by the centrists for 2 years.
I mean, yeah, it's over for them if you ask me. I mean, the Bernie left is done for now.
The Armenians are down. Is that what you're saying?
They're down. The Armenians are down.
The Armenians are down.
I think they're done. Once Bernie dies, I mean, I don't think. I mean, I think the threat of a social democratic insurgency in the Democratic Party has been contained, right? And anyone who thinks otherwise is smoking the copium.
Damn. You guys are so mean.
I mean, Kamala might give us something. Maybe she'll bribe us with something nice.
She might be halfway decent on immigration. She might be halfway decent. She might give you a DACA-like reform.
Maybe you'll get like some health insurance stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's just
I thought progressives were supporting her behind the scenes. Yes. Maybe they didn't want to be seen as like spoiling anything.
You know progressives that are or were?
Were when Biden dropped out and people weren't sure what was going on. I heard progressives were supporting her behind the scenes.
What's the
Are
attraction?
you supporting her behind the scenes, Toussaint?
I am not supporting her behind the
Are you
scenes.
supporting her by buying Shein pantsuits and aggressively walking all over New York?
Look nice in a Shein pantsuit. I think we shouldn't criticize that. I've been learning a lot about Black culture recently.
Oh shit!
I've been watching Wiling Out with Nick Cannon.
That
No!
is not how
That
you
is not an
learn.
indication of Black culture.
Nick Cannon is from San Diego. All Black people from San Diego are very distinct. Pascal, do you know how to surf?
No.
Are you revoking Nick Cannon's Black card? Or
No, I'm saying Black people from San Diego are very distinct.
Well,
Very distinct.
as Pascal often says, Black people in America are not a monolith. So
yeah, and Nick Cannon is a San Diegan, so you can't look at anything Nick Cannon does and say Black culture.
No, but
No.
they do freestyle battles.
Oh, then and all Negroes can do that.
No, they have some white women doing it. They even have like a really.
There you go.
They even have like a really white woman. You know, they have one white woman who's like, you know, got the big butt and has like and you know talks like in the way that they talks, and then they have like just a basic Karen, like a Becky, right?
Right.
Who freestyles better than like all these hip hop guys.
Because they do that same kind of rap where they set up the joke with it. It's just kind of dull to me.
So why
don't watch the Wildin' Out, dude. Don't unless you have a time machine
Yes.
and like a shiny suit. There's no reason for you to go back to Wildin' Out. There's no reason.
There's no reason to go out.
No.
He sounds so sad.
No. Because the Wildin' Out still comes on though, right?
It
Yeah,
does.
This is like new episodes. Like, no. I don't do that. You're better off watching local trash rappers. That'll give you a more insight on young people.
Yeah, well, I've seen some of the young people rappers. I mean, I can't make heads nor tails of them.
I was out a few weeks ago in the Bay.
Scoozy Bip Bop and Skibbly Dobbly and
dude, I saw these
Diggle
kids.
Double.
I saw these kids have a rap beef over a Dine and Dash bill. I was like, first of all, that's the most lame fucking suburban bad boy shit I've ever seen in my life. And why are you guys bragging about this on the internet?
Well, I saw a rap battle about people fighting about Pokemon Go.
That's why you shouldn't. That's why you shouldn't. You got to watch local trash. I should pull up some of these local trash rappers for you so you can see.
No, you should not.
I should, because some of them are. I pulled them up for my kids, and my kids knew who these people were.
They know. Well, I mean, they look weird. A lot of the new rappers.
A lot of these kids just suck.
They do.
They suck, and they just destroyed. I don't know what happened. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm gonna say something real racist, but
no, go and say it.
No, I can't. Can I blame the COVID?
Yeah, you can't be racist.
I can. I very much can be, Gene.
I've been told in a training session that people of color can't be racist. They can be bigoted, but not racist. So.
And then they said the Kevin Powell line that race plus power equals racism.
Something like that.
And then you said, well, there was a moment where Obama was president and Eric Holder was the AG. Oh,
I didn't say that.
Oh. I said that at a very similar meeting, and someone yelled at me.
What did they yell at you?
They said I was a Republican. I was like, I'm not a Republican. I'm just not retarded.
Oh, that's cancelable. You can't say that word now.
Oh, I can't say retarded.
No. This is why the shows always get like demonetized and suppressed on the algorithm because Jason Miles can't keep his potty mouth in check.
Look, we have a very serious call, and the
Let's do
caller,
it.
unlike the previous caller, don't talk into your neck. Put the receiver near your mouth. And calling from a 414 area code. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave, calling from Milwaukee. What's up, people? How y'all doing?
Good.
What's going on?
Great. Yeah, so basically, I just wanted to kind of cover what you guys think of as like progressive media's role in, raising, in politics, I guess. I feel like you guys don't really look at yourselves as leading anybody. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very right. Yeah.
That's probably top. That's probably a good thing, right?
I guess. I'm realistic.
Yeah. I think it's good to be realistic about things. It's been very disheartening to see some people in progressive media kind of actively trying to get Kamala Harris in there. I think this kind of tying yourself to that kind of thing is just absurd. It winds up just being cheerleading because media is just incapable of taking a real leadership role when it comes to a political struggle or a popular struggle. It's you can't leave it up to the media what the people have to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I've always felt like where I think I guess this kind of comes with Pascal, what he was doing, and I think guys like Bruce Dixon did in the past too, is kind of like taking an ecumenical approach when it came to left politics, and just trying to offer a platform and a space for debate for people, as opposed to trying to like push this or that program or politician. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing here. Would you guys agree that this is an outlook that is generally lacking among progressives, and why?
When you say the outlook, you mean as far as people believing that the media will lead them?
Or the media, even worse, the media thinking that they're leading the people.
Do I think people believe that? Yes, I do think people believe that. You know why I believe that, David?
People definitely believe that.
You know why I believe that, David?
Yeah.
I believe that because when Catherine Liu made a statement, kind of a little bit with her tongue in her cheek on this show, that podcasters are the new rock stars, there's a lot of truth to that. We even had Justin Hunt on the show talking about how venues are getting booked up with podcast shows. We do live podcast shows.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, much like being in a band and being a quote unquote rock star, you can believe your press clippings. You can believe the positive comments.
Yep.
You can believe you're changing the world with a song. And I think that that same hubris infects our community as well.
And I would add this.
Absolutely.
Hold on, Gene. He can't hear you. Did you have one thing you want to say, David, before Gene chimes in?
No. I definitely want to hear what Gene has to say.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear him. But go ahead.
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, well, what I would say is I think there is a lot of truth to what you're saying about like certain elements of left media becoming cheerleaders for elements within the Democratic Party, particular candidates, and so on and so forth. I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, so long as you know what you're listening to. Like, if you're listening to a show where they're like playing inside politics in the Democratic Party, and they have a particular agenda and a particular set of candidates that they support, then that makes that makes sense to me. Like, they are partisan media, and they are a lot of left media. I would call it Democratic Party media, right? And not in the sense that it's part of the Democratic Party officially, but that it is geared towards it's geared towards appealing to people who are Democratic Party voters or Democratic Party adjacent, and people who want to influence the Democratic Party, let's say, to a more social democratic direction, right? And there's that type, let's call that progressive media, right? And that is what most of the big media channels are, whether that's TYT, Majority Report, Humanist Report, all these big shows, they are Democratic Party media, in that their listener base is largely Democratic Party voters, and the political agenda, which they have up front, is about influencing the Democratic Party to their particular position. What I always find ironic is when people get mad at them for doing that. Well, that's what they're doing, and that's what they're, it's like saying, how dare you, sell cookies in the cookie shop, right? This is what they're saying. But then I think I'm not interested in doing that kind of media per se. I don't think Jason is. I'm just more about just like you say, taking the ecumenical approach and not really having a particular line or position or candidate. I mean, individuals on this show may support a particular candidate, may support a particular person, may support a particular movement, but it's less, I don't think the orientation of This Is Revolution is exclusively directed towards Democratic Party politics. I mean, I haven't been on much recently, but Jason does shows on a lot of other things to do with popular culture, to do with music and things like that. So I guess this is a kind of different kind of media. But yes, there is a kind of progressive media camp. Although my only thing I would say is that when people get mad at them for supporting Democratic Party candidates, I find that strange, because that's what they're there to do. That's It's not hidden, right? It's not like they have a secret agenda to turn you all into Democrat. They're trying to, they view politics through the electoral two-party system, and their notion of politics is driven by supporting one flank of politics. And then, that is what it is. It's not, I'm not, people should get less angry about that particular aspect of it, because it seems like it's baked into the product you're consuming. Don't get mad if you consume nuts when you eat the nut sandwich.
That's what I told her.
These nuts.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The thing is that I think it's okay to kind of take that insider role, or to speak to Democratic Party interests. But the thing is that sometimes these outlets are less connected with the Democratic Party and less in tune with the issues at hand than they pretend to be. So I feel like a lot of the times that they are kind of just blathering and gossiping more than actually, speaking to real issues. I think it's a big mistake for people to pretend like they are going to know what a Harris presidency would look like versus a Biden one. I guess it's clearly not what people are aware of at the moment. And I just, I don't know. It's just been kind of frustrating to me to watch. It's not so much their line or their position, because they're very clear about that, but the degree of panic that you see and just how clearly out of sorts and out of touch they are with just even the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. Because the Democratic Party, that's the thing with that party, it's very, very difficult to get a good handle on where either the GOP or the Democratic Party is going, because they are not really parties in the sense that they can be engaged with as a totality. They're more like a collected interest, if you know what I mean. And those can shift widely very quickly, in my opinion. I'll give you an example. So the Democrats here in Wisconsin, we had our governor push a budget that was aligned with the GOP and significantly hurt Democratic Party interests. But since some of the national left media wasn't really aware of that, they started cheerleading for this. So then you put in the calls, and they stopped doing that, thankfully. But I think they have to do. I think maybe if they're going to put themselves out there as speaking to Democratic Party interests, they have to become more in tune with the Democratic Party. I think that just not being in touch with reality in that sense is an issue.
Well, I agree. Thank you very much, David, for the call. Thank you for the support
from you guys.
And keep watching the show.
Thank you. Always, man. I really appreciate all the work you guys are doing, and great to see Pascal. And what's up?
All right, brother.
Take care, everybody.
All right,
Bye-bye.
peace.
Bye-bye.
That was a good call from David.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking, Jean Bajlan. I'm going to find something on the website.
Well, I don't know what's going on with you guys. What's going on with Pascal? What's going on with MT? Are you all? So I guess you guys aren't excited for Kamala.
I'm not doing backflips.
You're not doing backflip?
No.
No. Is that what about? Aren't you excited though to celebrate the? Well, can I ask something here? It seems very interesting that they are marketing Kamala as a black president as opposed to an Asian president.
Depending on who they're talking to.
It's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe Jason just left me here to vamp so he could watch his porn at the back time. Well, look, I've been watching Mike Tyson videos, and Mike Tyson's going to vote for Trump. So what do you think about that?
I think Mike Tyson is not someone I take political information from, and I'm sure Mike Tyson has doubled up on a few women with Donald Trump.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I feel very confident in the fact that Mike Tyson and Donald Trump have doubled up on at least 3 women.
Damn, I didn't know. If I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't want to be in the room with Mike Tyson.
Why not?
Because he just
imagine how much love you're going to get from that other person. Like, you're such a gentle, considerate, affectionate lover. This other guy's over here like an animal, and he's drooling all over the place.
I actually listened to an interview with one of his bodyguards who said, like, Mike Tyson took 2 women up to the room, and he and then like 30 minutes later, one of them comes down, and he's like, "Why'd you come down?" And he goes like, "Oh yeah, well, he gave us like $1,500 each," and then just started absolutely destroying one of the women, and so she was like, "You can have your money back because I just don't want you to be doing that to me." And he's like, "I'll keep 1,000 and give her an extra 500 because he's apparently an animal." So yeah, maybe I didn't think of that perspective. Well, I think Mike Tyson likes him because didn't Donald Trump stand by him when he was put in jail?
Yes.
Yeah, so probably it's like some personal loyalty stuff.
Donald Trump likes a lot. Donald Trump is real cool with what's that guy's name? Russell Simmons.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised Mike Tyson would vote for Donald Trump. Seems very in line.
Very 80s.
Who else?
Yeah, very 80s. Very 80s.
Who else
thing
would
to do,
vote for Donald Trump? Do you think 50 Cent votes for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about LL Cool J?
Yeah, he's like a registered Republican.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it now.
Oh, you don't think LL Cool J would vote for Trump?
I think LL Cool J will vote for Donald Trump and do a fundraiser for Kamala Harris.
Oh, damn. What about, okay, this is a good game, actually. Who will the rappers vote for? Who will Dr. Dre vote for?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You think so?
All day long.
What about Jay-Z? Because I think he's 100%.
Donald Trump.
No way, Kamala.
Jay-Z's a Democratic Party centrist.
Again, I think Jay-Z will do the fundraiser for Kamala and vote for Donald Trump.
No, I don't think Beyonce would let him vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, you think that's what it is? She's going to be in the booth with him?
I think because Beyonce's definitely going to vote. vote for Kamala Harris, right?
Oh yeah, she's gonna be used as a campaign tool.
She already got permission to use her music at rallies. So,
Dude,
Gross.
Beyonce at the inauguration with all these Riot Girl chicks, the Riot Girl revival.
you know what?
Telling you, man, Kamala Harris is going to have every white women that haven't voted in like 24 years are going to come out of the woodwork.
Who's Ice Spice going to vote for?
She can't read.
You know, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. My mom thought that Ice Spice had Down syndrome and thought that like Ice Spice was like like how we like open up spaces for people with disabilities. She was like, oh, it's really great that they have this. Like, she's a really tough. I was like, she doesn't have Down syndrome, Mom.
Like when the Down syndrome kid gets to run for a touchdown, and then when
she thought it was like some kind of have you heard that deaf rapper they have from Congo?
I did. That's so mean.
So mean. It's like what the deaf and dumb, yeah. Deaf and dumb. So yeah, my mom thought that Ice Spice was like had Down syndrome. I was like, she doesn't have Down syndrome.
You guys are evil. We got some calls. Let's take some calls. I was gonna pivot away from Kamala Harris and get real depressing. Susan, you want to push a call through?
Who would Nick Cannon vote for?
Whoever's going to give him a reprieve on his child support.
Damn. What about Benzino?
Does he vote? Can he vote? All right. Calling from a 559 area code. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
This is Eric. I'm calling from the Lake State up in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but originally from the Great Central Valley. So just thought I'd call in, see how you guys are doing, and then just I actually spent a week on the res at Mole Lake. In fact, I think Jason, I might have ran into a couple guys you used to hang out with. Don't know if you heard about Mixed Kid Fridays. This one guy, Robert. Anyhow, he's like, yeah, no, you got to get Jason Miles back out here, man. He's a great, great guy to hang out with. So,
are you being serious? Are you being serious?
I actually am. True story. Now, the shtick is, I was over at Mole Lake, trying to manifest abundance, all that white person shit. But actually, I was in Mole Lake, but it wasn't for that. It was actually to teach some fiber optics, and yeah, because they got a bunch of government grant money coming in for one, internet security, and then two, broadband, because the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, they're wiring them, and now they're trying to wire the upper part of Wisconsin, and the tribe's going to be a part of it. So yeah, no, totally serious.
Well, I just want people to know that I've been all over, so now you know that this is not a lie. Someone's like, no, Jay, good guy. It's a lot of fun.
Jason's even been to Joplin, Missouri, and survived.
I have. There's pictures of it. There's video of it. There's video somewhere.
I haven't been to Joplin, Missouri. Although
really,
yeah. There's a lot of video out there that I don't promote. I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't promote it. But I'm not ashamed of it. I was badass. So fuck what anybody's got to say.
I don't go anywhere.
Well, hey, it's because of that. It's the wild rice and fry bread, right? I mean, that's just to keep you coming back.
I've actually had a lot of fun in native territory. Actually, some really good native people saved me and my ex when our van had broke on our on a tour in 2014, and so yeah, I have a very deep relationship with that community, especially in the area that you're in right now.
Yeah, no, it's like it's nice to be around people that see what the hell's going on, and it's weird that when they tell you what they've been having to go through, especially on the res, that shit is way too familiar. So yeah, like we didn't know these people from Adam, but Jesus, you get to talking to them, especially with a class like we were teaching, hands-on, trying to, get everybody to, into a career path. And wow, yeah, I mean, just anyhow, that's an entirely different conversation for another day, for sure. But anyhow, so I didn't want to ramble, but anyhow, yeah. So,
well, anything else you want to say before we go?
Oh no! So because the biggest thing is now, I have it's obviously just anecdotal, but have you noticed any change in say what people are saying and how people are talking and how people view, let's say, the political climate? I mean, I know I have myself, and I'll share that if you'd like to hear it. But just wanted to see what you guys your interactions with different people, and it's like okay, hey, this one person or set of people thought one thing, and now all of a sudden, like now they're starting to talk like, it's almost like they're starting to talk sense. Let's just say,
in the sense of Kamala for president, or in the sense of,
oh sure, in the sense of we were liking Trump, but now behind closed doors, we're not going to vote for him, but in public, oh yeah, we're all for him. So, and that's the other thing why. I don't trust any of the polls, and it's funny, all these guys bring up all these polls. The only poll that matters is the one you vote in. The rest of them are garbage. They have zero predictive value. That's why, like, when Biden was still in it, I don't know why everybody was freaking out so much, because, look, you can say all you want about, oh, yeah, I'm for Trump, I'm for this, but then who do you vote for? Maybe they're lying. They haven't talked to me about polls, but anyhow, so just if you run into any people like that, I have actually, when I was driving through, bumfuck Wisconsin, years ago, like in 2016 or in 2020, you see tons of Trump posters. You do not see nearly the amount of Trump posters as you used to. In fact, I even saw some Democrat posters. I was shocked. This is along Highway 8. So just to give a picture of you guys, look at it. You probably never even heard of U.S. Highway 8, northern Wisconsin. So it's off of 35 and going north in Minnesota. You turn, right, and you're through the middle of bumfuck USA.
No, that's actually an interesting point. Thank you for your call, and thank you for your support.
No, absolutely. Keep up the good work, you guys.
I do see, Gene, you're kind of in the middle of red country. And Pascal, you too are in the middle of red country. Are you seeing less Trump signs than you saw even in 2020?
I'm seeing less overt Trump support. Like the MAGA, like we have the phenomenon of like the conservative Cuban population in South Florida, which has always been kind of big. They're still here, but they're not as like during 2020, they really went like berserk for Trump, and they've been a little bit more hush this year.
What about you, Gene Bajlan?
I mean, I have not seen a Trump sign, I don't think, yet, which is weird, but also I don't leave my house very often, so perhaps there are parts of town. I mean, I've been here for 8 years, and I literally only know 3 streets in this city. So
have you been to the Western Sizzlin yet? That's the main thing.
No, I haven't been to the Western Sizzlin because it's like I can't be bothered. Golden Corral's closer. I mean, like I just, I hate living in America. I hate living in Springfield. And so I just have to stay in my house. That being said, last time round 2020 there were Trump signs everywhere, right?
Yeah, the fervor. I've been saying this for the longest time, and I don't think people really believe it because he has very large or loud supporters. Is he failed? He failed on all the promises that people wanted. The world didn't change in those 4 years for the better. And I'm not saying this to say that he's the fascist monster everyone says he is. He just wasn't all that awesome. And
I think you're right. People know that he, like, I was talking to my friend who's like a bit of a neocon Republican, and he occasionally does the local talk radio here, fills in for him. And he was telling me, it was like Trump's, that border deal that Biden offered, he was like, that's like as good as you're going to get. And Trump scuppered it, right? And he went on the radio and said that. He was like, this was a good deal. We would have got a lot of things that we wanted. We would have pushed immigration in the way that we wanted it. And Trump just scuppered it for his own personal political reasons. And I think a lot of maybe not like the diehards, but I think a lot of soft Trump voters are like, actually, yeah, Trump did the best that he could do for us. He gave us the Supreme Court, but anything else, right? But any Republican would give us the Supreme Court. So, it's not specifically something. But on the policy issues, he didn't really deliver that much. He did the tariffs and stuff like that, which Biden kept, right? Biden implemented the Trump agenda, really, in many ways. They did a lot. Like Biden just did the stuff Trump said he was going to do.
So that was my whole point of writing that piece that I went on Majority Report for, and they yelled at me. But just kidding. Was to say that when Trump was in office, the way we reported immigration was different than the way we report immigration now.
Oh, for hell, sure.
There was a crisis at the border because of Trump, and there were children displaced, and everybody needed help, and it was just viewed very differently. We're going to have sanctuary cities. That's all gone now. The sanctuary cities really got pounded by the Republicans, and it's changed the immigration conversation, the crime conversation. I read a great article in the San Francisco Standard that went through all these crime statistics in the city of San Francisco, which is a small city. It's only 7 square miles, right? Burglaries are down. Car break-ins are down. Car thefts are down. A lot of this has to do with a tougher on crime district attorney than Chesa Boudin. That is true. Mayor London Breed's talking about doing a big homeless sweep. They've already done a big homeless sweep in Oakland because of the Supreme Court law. So the conversations around these things that we wanted to protest for, and we were going to have all these solutions for, if we just reallocated money and just changed decimal points over, all this stuff was going to get reallocated. Well, the reallocations never happened. And if money is getting transferred over for anything, it's to put people in facilities with walls so you don't have to see the problem. And that's the future of this country.
Grim.
And it is a grim future. And no one's talking about it because everybody is so, kind of back to what David was saying. If you're really drinking the Kool-Aid that your election coverage is important and needed, then all you're going to worry about is covering the election, which is not about issues. It's just about personalities. All you're talking about is personalities, and you're fooling yourself when you bring up issues or anything geopolitical. You're just fooling yourself. And real laws that are actually passing in states like California and New York that say things like, all right, if this person is physically displaying some sort of mental illness, we can throw them in a facility right now. No questions asked.
Dingo dango.
Right? Oh, some housing trust in Los Angeles mishandled hundreds of millions of dollars of funds, and now 18 properties are up. And we're going to sell it to an investor.
Grim.
What is that guy going to do with that? Is it going to be affordable housing? And what is affordable housing? Do people know all the different categories for affordable housing? No, but they know what Kamala Harris and Donald Trump ate for lunch.
Damn.
All right, you have to go, Gene.
Yes, TIR people, it's been a pleasure. Pascal, MT, and Jason Miles, big hugs and kisses. And congratulations on Kamala Harris.
All right, Gene.
Especially Pascal. Especially.
All right. See you later, Gene.
I'm going to go watch Smiling Out now. Bye.
That is me, Gene Bajlan. What do you think about that, Pascal?
No, man, I think that what you're saying is absolutely correct. And it's a very, very grim situation that people have been pushed this narrative purely for politics for so long that you can't get an actual good view of what reality is on the ground. And we saw that particularly at the COVID. We saw that particularly after the George Floyd riots. And we saw that particularly because of the elections within the Democrats and Republicans. And it's it's getting worse, and it's not changing,
Well, let's get these calls through. Tucson, you want to push another call through?
Mm-hmm. Calling from a 702 area code. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, everybody. It's Bro Flamingo from Las Vegas.
What up?
What's going on? What's going on, Anderson? What's going on, guys? I got two main questions to you. I think you guys are spitting some fire. A little bit of disagreement, but it's on the margins. But Jason, you brought up the enthusiasm for Trump. It's down, and I agree with you. Of course, I think he's a danger. But I almost got like Hillary vibes after he got shot. It was almost like a fait accompli from the Trump campaign and the Trump voters. They're thinking they're going to ride this wave, and when they switch in Kamala, they're just in panic mode. And I never thought Trump was particularly strong as a candidate. He was particularly weak. But my main thing, Jason, is what do you think? Like after Trump is defeated, where do the Republicans go from here? Because it's not clear to me that there's another backbencher that they have that could kind of consolidate the right that the way Trump has, in a way. If you get what I'm saying,
yeah.
There's JD Vance. JD Vance is going nowhere. He's an anchor. He's going nowhere. So, you have all these kind of disparate factions of the right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Republican Party is going to implode, but again, I haven't seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen a singular finger on the right like Trump that can literally consolidate like Wall Street bankers and neo-Nazis into one party. They've always had their kind of internecine strifes, but outside of Trump, where do you see them going? Because I don't see them trending upward after this.
Well, thank you very much for your call, Bro Flamingo. Please stay cool in hot ass Las Vegas. Derek Varn is.
Oh man, Jason.
I know it's hot. It's the
hot.
End of July. I've been there at the end of July. Derek Varn is out there right now, so if you see him, kick him in the nuts for me. I'm just kidding. Don't kick him in the nuts. Don't kick him in the nuts. Bro, thank you for your phone call, and I'll give you what I think off air. Thank you for your phone call, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Take care, guys.
All right, peace. I think, and this is just my opinion, and you guys don't have to agree with me. Much like what we saw with Kamala Harris, if somebody told you, anyone watching this show right now, if someone told you in 2021 that Kamala Harris would replace Joe Biden as the leading candidate after Donald Trump there had been an assassination attempt on Trump's life, he survived, taking probably what will go down in history as one of the most iconic photos during a presidential election, at least in the 21st century, that Kamala Harris's just announcement using rehashed Hillary Clinton slogans would take all the wind out of the Republican sails. I'm sure you look at me like I was crazy, but that is the world we live in today. I think our mood changes with the wind. I don't think we're as politically connected as we want to believe we are. There's 400 and some people in Congress. I don't know all of their names. I don't know all of their platforms. I don't know every senator's name and platform. And if you do, then you're some sort of savant, or you should go outside. But seriously, it wasn't hard, was it? We've been saying it. Stay low. Don't say anything that's going to embarrass yourself. And she didn't for the most part. And now everybody's doing backflips around her. The same thing can happen for JD Vance. The same thing can happen to Ron DeSantis. I think Kamala Harris is going to win. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And if she does, it's not going to take long for people to despise her. Fox News will get a campaign to shit on her hair and her pantsuits and that empty look in her eye when she tries to riff. She's not really good at riffing off script. Never really has been when it comes to being serious. So it depends what her platform is. she seems to have always been. We always joke about her being a very '90s black woman, very community oriented. I'm gonna help my people by being a lawyer. I'm gonna help my people by being a prosecutor and putting the bad people away. Right. And even when she was first coming up, I think Oakland, she was in first. She tried to have some community programs to keep people out of prison. She might be able to riff a little bit on that, but it's going to be a nightmare with that woman speaking. Fox News is going to be all over it. And left media feeling very, very neutered is going to be all over it as well.
That's what we said about Joe.
Yeah, it didn't take long for everybody to hate him. Jack? Pascal?
I think that makes a lot of sense, man. It's just that we didn't expect these definite changes to come in front of our faces as quickly as we did, and they're here. Look where we are now. But there's a question: did the puppet masters play their cards to get this result, or are they just following the game just the way that everyone else expected as well?
Pascal, I want to take you very seriously, but Dusty said for the fun to get Pascal some WD-40 for the chair.
So Dusty, I said these nuts.
I can't laugh. Oh, the COVID. The COVID is killing the laughter. Why didn't you tell me, Tucson? The COVID kills the laughter. Dude, I think the puppet masters understand the game better than the people that think they're outsmarting the game do. Kamala Harris was a joke after Tulsi Gabbard said a couple words about her, about something that where no one got convicted for. Oh, she tried to lock up parents. That is Kamala Harris in a nutshell. I'm going to say some insane bullshit, laugh about it, and not really do anything. She's an empty pants suit with a winning smile. Depending on how good she is with the smile, maybe she could have a decent first term. I just don't think so. What say you, Tucson?
This person said Tulsi had more delegates.
Sure.
If I remember correctly, that's true.
Sure. I don't doubt that at all. I mean, this woman was not
dead in the water.
That was like everybody, when she got nominated, everybody was like, but she was polling. It's like, yeah, why does that matter? It doesn't matter. All that matters is what I put in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You fool. You don't have freedom of choice.
She is one of two choices now.
One of two, and everybody loves the choice. Everybody loves the choice.
Not everybody. But the ones who
I
don't
saw
love
your Shein bill for pantsuits. You have one for every day of the week. They're only like 50 cents.
The ones who don't love the choice don't matter.
Ooh, why don't they matter?
Well, nobody cares what the left is doing. We have no power. We're neutered. Can't no weight to shift anything. We're not going to move her left. With what? Us and what army? No leverage.
There's no sticks. There's no carrots. Is there a way? Is there a way, Pascal, to possibly, quote unquote, move a Kamala Harris presidency to the left?
I think that's a fantasy. I think that anytime we hear people from the Bernie Sanders contingency talk about that, they're smoking, blowing their own smoke in their ears.
Mm.
But what do we have? What leveraging power do we have?
We can hold a floor vote on who's going to be the next Speaker of the House.
How? Where? We don't have any delegates. Oh,
I think
man.
one thing the left cares a lot about right now is Gaza. And I think probably a lot of the eggs are going to be put in the Gaza basket, trying to move her into some decision about Gaza. And that's where we're going to shoot our load, so to speak.
But she didn't show up to Netanyahu's speech. I think we know how this turns out. She gets in office, ceasefire. What do you think?
I wouldn't even go that far. I don't think she's going to deviate. Yeah, man, her husband is a major bundler, and he's already sent out messages to members of the Israeli lobby that she will put the interests of Israel and protecting the state of Israel. Period. I don't see her. She's addressed AIPAC before. I don't see her as a deviation.
You don't think she can at least call for a ceasefire and still keep the?
I think she will call for one in rhetorically, but not knowing that she's not going to get one.
Mm-hmm.
I can see
whether
that.
she gets one is a different story. Yeah.
I can see that. Pascal, can you take one last call before you go?
Sure.
All right. Tucson, you want to push a call through?
All right, let's see what we're dealing with.
I think somebody wants to apologize to Pascal. Can you push through a? Here, I'll do it.
I think it was a
Okay.
joke, man.
Yeah. Calling from a 740 area code. Caller, what is your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, wow, that was fast. This is your favorite Facebook friend, Thomas Hooker.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, Pascal and everybody, I might have gone too far with that, Pascal, that you were part of Nixon's black cabinet, and I apologize about that. But no, basically I wanted to say that as I get older and I find myself with my union activity and my church activity and looking at politics, I find myself, I guess you could say, identifying with Benjamin in Animal Farm, the mule that, nobody knew how old he was, just that he had always been around and he didn't say much. And when the pig set out their 7 rules and that, he tried to warn everybody. And so my mouth kind of gets ahead of my brain. So if I come off as discombobulated, I apologize. But so just, and also with, and I had also messaged a few people about with my union, and that, with liberal democracy, which is way better than autocratic things that we're seeing. And this is a point I made about the Project 2025, that, Project 2025 is just the Heritage Foundation and basically their way of compressing, the 50 years of union busting, of assaults on reproductive rights, on reversing the Voting Rights Act and whatnot, that we saw in, I live in Ohio, so seeing that on a state level, local level, that basically it's their way to streamline it into a more of a federal way. And when you have, they don't need a Trump or a Vance, but when you have a Trump and a Vance, especially somebody like Vance who, cites, you have the Federalist Society, and then you have Vance citing Curtis Yarvin, aka Memphis Moldbug or whatever, the out and out monarchist that, that's who they have in the chamber. So I'm not endorsing Kamala, but basically with my union, the superintendent and the people of the central administration it's the nature of the beast that, for being a public service and all that, there's, democratic stuff is few and far between, but, it's better to have a superintendent and assistant superintendent that actually remembers where they came from if they started as a teacher, and that they're willing to work with you rather than one that's just, they never saw an opportunity to bash teachers unions, or like me, custodian, and that arguing that they saw, like it was the one guy in Chicago that got beat by Brandon Johnson, that he totally fired the whole custodial staff. So I know that sounds like I was just all over the place, but like I said, I'm not really, I'm no fan of electoralism or technocracy, but just like in 2013 when, the U.S. bombed Syria because Syria bombed Syria, I don't know what the right answer is, but I know what the wrong answer is. So, that's basically, where I'm coming from. So,
well, thank you very much for your call, Tom.
And also I want to say, just real quick, there was a caller who had called about intersectionality, and the way I understood it as, a veteran, as a dad who was a disabled Vietnam vet, that intersectionality is looking at things like how veterans issues, because you have, like, for example, people that were born in another country or whose parents were, that they're twice as likely to enlist, that it's, quote unquote, majority minority, which is a whole other problematic thing. You also have issues of homelessness, addiction, that all, it's not just one thing, and that you can basically use it not as a way to say as an oppression Olympics, for lack of a better term, but you can look at it like, say, with my dad, that veterans issues are, you also have matters of disability rights, and then you also have matters of, like with Trump, the him wanting to totally privatize the VA, and so you have matters of neoliberalism and austerity and all that. So I know that sometimes you have folks who are sort of the how should I put this? That kind of, there's that tension, that contradiction that they that doesn't always have to be just specifically the, I guess you could say, the TMC identity politics, that it can actually be, sort of unifying while recognizing people's differences. So, I know it's kind of out there and it's better on paper, but I'm also, thank you guys for putting up with my weird and vulgar and funny emails and all that. So
it's all good. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, Thomas.
Next time.
Pascal, you want to address some of that?
Intersectionality, I'm not particularly a fan of it because I look at it as a liberal remedy that does not distribute resources, but simply draws inclusion of various ethnic or minority groups into distributing the already existing hierarchy within a capitalist frame. So in other words, it doesn't change capitalism, it just tries to rearrange the deck chairs by bringing in more participants into the existing hierarchy of capitalism. So for me, that lacks as a program, because it does give you a liberal remedy that does not address the class variant that exists. Because what about the people of class hierarchies, the variant class hierarchies that exist amongst those various veterans or black people or black women? And why should you necessarily rank them equally with the people of a lower class economic position just because they are of the same intersection?
Well, see how you feel about that. And you have to go right now, Pascal?
Yeah, I gotta take off, man.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And we'll see you next week, because I'm very, very ill. Toussaint, be entertaining.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're also taking super chats. I don't know if you guys know that. We're taking your super chats. We're answering your questions today. So you can call in or you can send a super chat. One is easier than the other, I'm sure, for you.
Super chat is way easier.
Yeah.
We still have some more calls to get to.
We do. We have quite a few.
You want to push somebody through?
All right. I'm pushing somebody through right now. Calling from an 843 area code. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Brother Jason Miles.
Is this Pog Chaser MLK?
Now that the cracker and the teacher's pet have left the call, it is okay for me to be on. I see I've taken a break from my 12 hours of dooning to call into this program to share with you my thoughts. I'm happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of booty in the history of this podcast. 106 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today pinned the great Back That Ass Up. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of hog chasers who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 26 years later, the hog chasers still not free. There are those who are asking the devotees of that ass, when will we be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the hog chasers, the victim of unspeakable horrors, of skinny chicken-headed brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our anacondas are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating no BBLs allowed. No, we are not satisfied. We are not satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. And scene.
Dizzle, I have to say.
I had to wait until Pascal got off the show because I don't want him calling his alpha brothers to put a hit on me.
I don't think he'd get mad. I think they might. I do want to say this. That was effing hilarious. I would be in tears right now if I didn't have the virus, as you people call it. This is my first time getting this virus.
Oh, you got the Rona?
Yeah. Yeah. You're effing ridiculous. I appreciate the fact that you're breathing life on this planet. Tucson, did you appreciate that?
That was awesome. That was awesome.
The more characters we create, keep. I still want to try to do.
In all seriousness,
go ahead.
I say in all seriousness, though, like people with the Kamala stuff going on, like people just need to come out of their own like myopathy when it comes to this. It's going to be easier to organize underneath a liberal than it is underneath a fascist, okay? You can't organize unions if your union organizer gets shot in the back of the head. Like, simple as that. You know what I'm saying? This is just that. Like, Kamala is not going to be drone striking the UAW. Trump might have. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to be real about that. Like, this is the best opportunity, not for her to do anything, because they're not going to.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't have the power to affect the presidency on a national scale. We live in a federated system. So, like, be real about the limitations, about where you're at, and try to affect local politics as best you can. You know?
Yeah.
Like, simple as that. You just gotta, you know, like people say, like you've been saying all this time. It's like, if you feel powerless, go organize a Discord. Go organize a local tenants union. Like, get out there and do something. Like, these policies that help people are more amenable to it than you think. And alliances don't last forever. Ours does.
Yeah.
Period. Get power. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're an abolitionist and there is a municipal judgeship in your area that is up for grabs, you don't have to have a freaking lawyer's license to do it. Run and make your issue an issue, right? Because what's going to do? You're going to lose, but you could potentially build an organ that can be used for later organizing. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting that you say that, because my thing with that, I felt that was the vibe in 2018. I don't know if you agree, especially after AOC gets that kind of surprise victory, quote unquote surprise victory. And it's like, we can run for things in 2018 and 2020. Excuse me. You see a lot of people running for stuff, but what happened, not to everybody, but to most people after they ran and lost. Some people ran for ridiculous seats where they were never going to get attention in the first place. Some people did get some victories, but it felt like if I lose, I can pivot to media, because now I have a place in media. I had back before you paid for blue checks on Twitter, you got a blue check on Twitter. I think you got one on Instagram. And there was a lot of pivoting to media.
But that's only because the people are, I think that is because the impulse that has is an entrepreneurial impulse, which they are trying to deal, and they're in dialogue with the problem of how do I make a living without feeling completely disempowered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they went into politics because they suck at business. And then what happened? They lost. They pivot to media because now they've escaped, you know, in their minds, they've escaped the employee-employer relationship. They've escaped it. They're an entrepreneur now. They're a media entrepreneur, which is literally, again, Matt Christman of Chapo House talks about this in one of their podcasts. Like, it's the last frontier of entrepreneurship is digital entrepreneurship. You can host a podcast. You can be a media person.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, okay, that's fine. But like, the organizers I know have run for dozens of things. Like, there's a guy in Milwaukee that he's run for local office like a half a dozen times, and he is chronically not online. Like, does not have an online presence, does not care to do it. I think I talked to him yesterday, a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Hey man, are you coconut filled and K-Hive?" And he's like, "What the hell does that mean?" And I was like, I apologize for, you know, because he's like, I have to talk to normal people. Yeah. I cannot be terminally online, right? Because I think he's head of like a retirement union or something like that, right? Some teachers union that's here. But it's like every time he's lost, the whole point is you're building a larger network, right?
Yeah.
You're building a list. That's what you're doing. And so he's constantly working those lists, and he's been a part of a dozen different, you know, ballot initiatives and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Organizing for that stuff, organizing for tenants unions. Like that's the work. Like, if you're a real deal organizer, you're not pivoting to, you know what I'm saying, to media. You're pivoting to organizing more stuff. You know, you're running around. That's what you're doing. Like, that's the real work that has to be done. You know, it's like, who cares if you lose? Okay. You know, keep fighting.
I'm with you.
And again, like,
I'm
the words of Chris Hayes. Yeah, in the words of Chris Hedges, I don't fight fascists because I'll win. I fight fascists because they're fascists.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you have to fight the good fight, you know, and we use all these things, the comedy and the podcast, stuff like that, to, you know, distract us long enough that we don't put a bullet in our freaking mouth.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason why I spend any time of my day trying to own my Politics or MLK impression, because it keeps me from jumping off a freaking building, you know, because the world is so terrible. And the only time that I have any kind of peace is when I tune into my leftist podcast and I hear M. Toussaint's hood noises in the background. Pascal's nonplussed look whenever you say some ridiculous nonsense. Anytime we go to the champagne room and you're sharing some nonsense with us, it's great. It helps, you know, it's a morale building, you know. So, like, keep it up, you know. But people, anybody that's listening to this podcast and can call in super chats with that, like, your activism doesn't stop here.
Yeah.
Has to continue to the real world. You have to touch real people, touch some freaking grass and talk to people about some stuff. And people are messy. Sometimes they're going to agree on you and yeah, you run with it. And sometimes they're going to fight you and you got to fight them, you know? And again, alliances aren't permanent. Power is, you know, snatch that power and work with what you got, you know? And if it gets bad enough out there, then, you know, you got to take these things offline and don't talk about Fight Club. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, that's what it comes down to. If that's, people are really about it, they're not freaking Fed posting, you know, they're not posting revolution in a fucking Discord. Okay. Like, you got to, you know, and the only thing, you know, you got to look at history. I have a long view of history of like what has worked in the past, what potentially can work, what things look similar to our moment here, you know? And like, you know, a lot of people, they say, oh, I would have done something in Civil War times.
Yeah.
No, you're doing it, what you would be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're doing it. Like we're in rougher times right now. We're in historic times. And last time I checked, you're not going around a nursing home and drowning boomers. You're on X posting, you know, or you're calling representatives. Like when I used to live in Jim Clyburn's district, I used to call him and tell him to eat my entire asshole every day. It's what I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, they're not listening. They don't care. You know, there is no stick that you can beat these people with or a carrot you can offer them because the money's not on our side. You know, like you can try to get people to be aware and try to get them to be not as alienated, but that's difficult because, you know, like you say, we've had how many years of alienation? 60?
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't get fixed in an election cycle. Like when you were on the majority report and you said that shit, I was like, damn, Jason's spitting. Because that's true. You can't fix nothing in an election cycle that took 40 years to break.
And then they said, we have to go to commercial. I just didn't say that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, great. But I still agree with the fact that like occupy nodes of power within our system whenever you can. You know, if there's an opportunity for you to do something, like there's something coming up, it's better you to run for it than the worst person you know. You know, like run for school board, run for that stuff, man. In the words, I mean, what was that guy, Anand Girkadas, whatever, the writer of
Winner Takes
All,
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, he's like, there's 550,000 governmental seats that are elected in this country. Mm-hmm. Occupy one of them. Mm-hmm. Find out what that thing does and either prevent the worst from happening or do something, you know, or break it if you don't want that power to happen. You know what I mean? Like I got into a huge fight with some people locally here because I was advocating for somebody from an abolitionist group to run for a municipal judgeship here in Milwaukee. And they like, oh, we don't have the bandwidth for that. We don't have the bandwidth for that. And I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Like we should just run a campaign, run somebody, because then you can really probe the limits of the power of that office. Like, how many kids could you pardon in a day? How many cases could you throw out? You know, is there oversight in that seat? Well, we're going to find out. You know, break it. Like, do something. That's what Republicans do. That's what these freaking fascists do. They go into positions and they break them. Because half the time there are no freaking rules. There are just, you know, gentlemen's agreement between psychopaths. That's what's going on. Like, do something. You know? Go all, you know, guerrilla communist on that shit.
Guerrilla communist. Well,
yeah.
Dizzle.
And when you're tired of guerrilla communism, you know, because I'm not quick, spend the next 8 hours gooning. You know, you got to re-energize somehow. You know, goon until you can't goon no more. I always say.
Well, I can't goon because
make it a medical issue.
I can't goon.
You know,
I can't goon because
I nut quick.
There you go.
Because I nut quick.
Well, Dizzle, thank you very much. Okay,
and you know, I was just saying, and remember, always remember what Booker T said. We coming for you.
We coming for you, nigga.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dizzle.
Thanks, Dizzle.
AKA Paul Chaser MLK. We have a few. We have one more call, Tucson.
One more call.
One more call. Can you believe I did this with COVID?
Yeah, you're killing it.
Do I look sick?
No.
Really?
You've got the sexy rasp though. The lemon drop rasp.
A very nice person handed me tea, as they could probably hear my voice going more to poop. God knows how I sounded on that show I did yesterday. I can't narrate any video essays. I have to wait till this COVID's over.
Damn.
It happens.
Calling from a 312 area code. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we're here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Jason, I'm not going to keep you on too long because I know you're not feeling well.
Oh, thank you.
My concern with regards to the election is, you know, I just wonder how it's possible, if it's possible, for if Kamala is able to make a good choice for vice president and does successfully obtain the nomination, that it doesn't wind up being kind of the Weimar situation that I felt that the Biden administration and the Obama administration turned out to be for most people. And, you know, Pascal made a great point while I was waiting about the issue of leverage. And so I just, I wanted to start there of what you, and I forget what the young lady who's with you's name is.
M. Tucson.
What you're feeling. Tucson?
Yes.
Okay. And Tucson thought, you know, because that I think has been the most damaging thing about the last couple of Democratic presidents is that, you know, they came in with a lot of brand aspirational politics. And then over the time that they were in office, you know, they wound up being much like the German Weimar Republic. So I'll ask the question and see what you guys have to say.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for the phone call. And
I did have a follow up.
All right.
I did have a follow up. I don't know if I can. Should I just put all my issues out there?
You put them all out.
Should I
drop all of your issues?
So
drop them all on us right now. There's nothing I like more on a Saturday morning than going, you know, I feel like crap, and someone wants to tell me about all their problems. I'm here to listen.
No, it's not my problem. Okay, so I wanted to deal with that. I wanted to deal also with regards to the Black American situation. There's such a disparity between, and I'm a Black American,
Okay.
that the viewpoint that most Black Americans have about what the solution to their situation is through the political process and what it seems the country seems to feel is the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that gets reconciled, whether Kamala Harris is elected or not, because the way our system is set up, and now I'm kind of pivoting to the problem with Citizens United and Buckley versus Vallejo, limitless money going into the system, that Black Americans don't tend, although they are now, particularly Black women, contribute money to the politicians. And so it's the weird dynamic where Black Americans really expect these outcomes from their vote, but they're not participating in the system the way that it's set up to function with the money aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then unlike, during the King Malcolm X time, we don't have the leverage as agricultural workers and domestic workers. So there's this whole problem that comes out of it. We saw this with Obama, where people have these high expectations of what he's going to do. Of course, he doesn't deliver on them for various reasons. And then there's this kind of disenchantment with politics. And in some cases, like you're seeing this now, I think with some of the people who want to vote for Trump, that where they want to throw a brick at the system. And so I don't know how we avoid that problem as well. Of if everything went well and Kamala gets elected, that you have all of these Black American people that are expecting that she do something that's a direct remedy for one or two of their issues. And it's unlikely that she'll do any of them. So I wanted to throw that out there.
Sure.
And then maybe I'll call back in at a different point. Because, like I said, I know you're not feeling well. So.
And then yell something else. No, thank you very much for the call, Philip. I will try my best to address your issues. I'll be very blunt. We on this show have had a guy named Daniel Bessner on a few times. I feel comfortable calling Danny a friend. I've read his fascism piece several times. I don't think we're approaching that moment, that Weimar moment. I know it might feel like it, but the Reichstag isn't on fire. Even in your call, you felt it in these different times and it didn't happen. I think it didn't happen because the people that are like really disenfranchised are so powerless that they're just not trying to, who's your brown shirts? I don't see that rise. I know people point to things like Proud Boys.
Right.
But once these things become like internet phenomenons, they tend to tail off, and then you find out that one of the main cats was a snitch.
Yep.
It makes you wonder if the whole operation was on some weird snitch stuff, like the Meg Whitmer thing. Remember the Meg Whitmer kidnapping?
Mm-hmm.
And it came out that it was all the snitch that set it up. Like these guys never had planned to do it. So,
Gretchen Whitmer.
What'd you say?
Gretchen Whitmer.
What did I call her?
Meg.
Who's Meg Whitmer?
I don't know.
Oh, just a wrong white woman.
Probably someone from an 80s movie. That's very
Oh
obscure.
man, I'm just okay, so to that point, I have been sick here with someone else, and that person also enjoys made for TV movies from the 80s and 90s, and I have been watching made for TV movies from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Is there anything better than a made for TV? If you have Meredith Baxter Burney in it, if you have who's the mom from Who's the Boss? If she's in it,
Judith Light.
Judith Light. If the title is like Betrayal of Trust, Long Island Lolita. If these movies are coming on, like the Betty Broderick story, I'm gonna watch it. And I found out YouTube has a long list of these movies, and autoplay came on, you know, and I'm just waking up to more tragedy. Just like, oh, white tragedy. It didn't make any sense. Just like never made. Shannon Doherty in Lies of a Father. Jason's thinking Meg Whitman. I'm thinking Walt Whitman. And in all seriousness, I wouldn't worry about the encroaching fascism in the sense that you're worrying about it. I think there's things that happen that people don't talk about. Like law enforcement. That was like Conan said, confusing white women again. Sometimes they all look alike to me. Sometimes they all look alike.
Nice.
So someone says, Jason, don't tell your buddies you watch the Lifetime channel. If you're my friend, then you know I watched past tense. I don't have it anymore, the Lifetime channel. And you know what I'm going to be doing during the off season of football. I'll be watching Lifetime.
Oh, Lifetime.
If you are a pilot living two separate lives, I'm watching that movie every time and twice on Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a horrible man. But you know, law enforcement was going to be the encroaching fascism for the longest time until it wasn't. Now it's the solution once again to our problem with quote unquote growing crime, which is down across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I was shocked to even read in San Francisco that car thefts were down. But is there a direct correlation between that and a return to tough on crime policies and just throwing everybody away?
Right.
And I think we talked about this maybe in the Champagne Room, or maybe we talked about this on another show. I don't remember. There was a case in San Francisco, and to set San Francisco up for you guys, remember, Chesa Boudin, the progressive socialist son of Weatherman DA, gets forced out because he becomes the blame for crime and homelessness. Very odd to blame the DA on that. Part of what he wanted to do, was what was I going to say? Get rid of certain people in office that were corrupt and covering for rogue police officers that were beating people up and shooting people. He got rid of them pretty quick. He gets replaced with a woman that says, I'm going to be the opposite. I am going to be tough on crime. We are going to charge 15, 16, and 17-year-olds as adults if they commit violent felonies. We have no problem with that. We feel very comfortable doing it, and we think you guys are going to support it. Right?
Yep.
So a couple goes to Golden Gate Park. It's our version of, what's the big park you people have in New York? Central Park? Central Park. Remember, San Francisco 7 square miles. New York is this massive mass of boroughs and Negroes that are colorful and Afro-Latino, and they dance when the fire hydrant is open.
Oh, God. It's like
everything is everything.
And the Puerto Ricans sing "I Want to Live in America."
That's that video of Lauryn Hill and walking around. That's just New York to me. Anyway, so this woman is taking a picture of a buffalo, I think, for a reference photo. She's a painter,
Mm-hmm.
And some kids come up to her. I don't know what color the kids are. The article didn't say. They hold a gun to her head so they don't die over a camera. They take their cameras. They throw their phones away because phones are useless. And they steal a car and ram the car into someone's house. That sucks. And of the 3 kids, 2 of them were like under 16, I think.
Mm-hmm.
These are children committing a crime. The people are a white couple from the upper part of the Central Coast. I believe they're from Carmel, which is a very nice, beautiful city. Clint Eastwood was mayor. I believe that's where Pebble Beach golf tournament is. It's just a nice, pretty part of that Central Coast region, that upper Central Coast region, right?
Mm-hmm.
A few hours before you get to the real beautiful part, I think, which is like the Pismo Beach area, San Luis Obispo. I think that's the most beautiful area of California. And they say in the article, they're quoted as saying, "We are progressives. We don't call ourselves just Democrats. We call ourselves progressives." But we were appalled at the sentencing. So the kids go to trial. DA, judge, everybody gets together and they say, "What happened? Stole a camera. All right, crashed a car. These are kids. Everybody seems to be okay here. We're not going to charge them as adults."
Okay.
They sat down for a couple weeks in a youth facility. Excuse me. They let them go. And the people were furious. They're like, "We were terrified. These young men put a gun to my wife's head." Now, again, I don't know if the gun was real. I don't know if the gun was loaded. Regardless, I wouldn't be too thrilled if somebody put a gun to my wife's head. I might not know how to act. I'm comfortable enough with myself to say that. The biggest internal conflict I have is my emotions from where I'm from and how that kind of made me react to certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is it worth ruining someone's life over? If the DA would have charged them as adults and said, "This is a violent crime, let's charge them as adults," 7 years. They would have got 7 years mandatory. Your life's done. You're getting out at 20 as a convicted felon of a violent crime. Dunzo. If they really want to throw crazy charges at you like kidnapping, maybe you get 15. Your 20s spent inside.
Mm-hmm.
We've realized part of the thing that no one's brought up with the whole Kamala tried to extend people's sentences because it was her office. The problem with that was already at a time when California had realized that we had overcrowded prisons and people were literally dying in prisons because they couldn't get proper health care if they were sick. It was a mess. So they were like, "We have to let these people out. We just have to. We have too many people in here. Start letting them out." It was going against that. So we already have realized that, right? That was kind of one of the victories, if you will, of BLM, is that rhetoric kind of got on everybody's tongue. Hey, we realized that when you lock everybody up, what happens to them when they get out? Right?
Yeah.
We can't do that. And there is no, "Oh, white people are collateral damage." Negroes is only 10, 11% of the population. Everywhere else in the country, you see the quote unquote collateral damage of what happens when you lock people up at very young ages for long periods of time. What are you going to do when you get out? No, really, what are you going to do?
Right. There's no plan.
There's no plan. And to hear someone say, we are progressives. I believe in my soul those people had a sign up in their house that said, in this house, trans women are women. All Negroes can read. Mexican food is excellent. But like, seriously, I'm sure they had that sign. But it feels different when you're a victim.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point, I think the article ends them saying, yeah, I understand they're young, but how are they going to learn? And it's like destroying someone's life isn't a learned lesson.
Right.
That's not, oh, well, I guess you figured it out. You can't rob it. Well, they knew they couldn't do it when they did it. It wasn't like they were Tarzan and they only knew robbery as a good thing. Like, come on. Do you want everybody to have their life ruined? Is that the world that we want? Because this is the world that from a city and state level, that's the world that everyone's fighting for. I don't care what letter is next to your name. Everybody's fighting for the same thing. We're locking everybody up. We don't see a crime bill in the future. Maybe that's what Kamala brings down. My good friend Joe in 1994 had a crime bill that kept me busy for decades. I think if we reinstall the omnibus crime bill, we'll have safer streets, whatever it is. Maybe that's the policy that she pushes through.
Maybe.
Bipartisan support.
That's true.
That's how you win the love of the Republicans and get a second term.
So that's going to be her pivot.
Maybe. But it wouldn't really be her pivot because it's been who she is since she's been a politician.
Very true.
Maybe I want to help the poors and help these criminals when they go in. Maybe I want to get some sort of job program for them. Maybe they can clean up the parks. But ultimately, life is better when you just lock people up. It's just easier that way. It's just easier that way. That's what I see. These are like real problems that are never going to get addressed on the what is Trump wearing, what is Kamala wearing parade of media stars anywhere in media, right? It's always, again, to the caller, I doubt. I doubt Kamala Harris brings in a 94 crime bill. But you never know, right? You never know. If you want to be scared of anything, be scared of that. Be horrified of that. Because we already saw how it works. So you know how it's going to work this time through? It'll have colored faces in high places doing this all. And no one will complain. I mean, there were colored faces doing it in the 90s.
Right.
But we're going to make sure you know how much of a shame to your race you are as we put you under the jail for stealing a camera and wrecking a car. I mean, I'd be mad if somebody wrecked my car. I'm not going to lie. I'd want to, I'd want to beat the shit out of those kids. Until maybe I think, I wasn't an angel. I'm sure there's definitely, what we used to do when we were kids, Toussaint? My friend Elmer, who's El Salvadorian, his dad was a day laborer, and his dad would do construction jobs and have all this like junk in the back of his work truck. And some of the junk was sheetrock. And we cut the sheetrock and we could kind of use it as chalk. So it could be like bases and stuff or yard markers. And then when we were bored playing football or strikeout or whatever, we just throw the sheetrock at cars that pass by.
What?
Oh, yeah. Just dicks. Stand on the corner, car passes by. Yeah. And it sounds like a gunshot when your car gets hit by that. And we thought it was hilarious that people would duck.
Oh my God.
I don't say this because I'm cool. I say this because I too was a shitty child that deserved. It was one time we did that shit one night and a dude thought it was a gun and came out looking for us with a firearm. He was finna put a hole in us. And that's when we stopped.
That's when we stopped.
That's when we stopped. Real life came through real quick.
It's the intervention you needed.
That's it. That's all I needed to know that, oh, this is real. You can go night forever being an a-hole. Ever is a long time. Not everybody gets those life lessons. Some people do, and it doesn't hit home. I get that now. Right? Bad Lefty says I was an angel. Move on. But the idea of just throwing people away, oof, it doesn't sit well with me. Just doesn't sit well with me. Because I worked with what happens to the grown-ups that you throw away. It ain't like recycling.
Nope.
MK says, don't even honk at people out here. Richmond, California was not the place that we probably should have been doing that. And again, we are very, very lucky to be breathing air. You know how in the horror movies, when you hide under the bed and the killer walks by and you he was hiding under a car. So I'm not going to talk about an impending fascism. I'm going to talk about the reality of where we are today. Don't worry about what happens after November. Tell me about today. It's frightening today. We're passing laws today that says if I see you exhibit some mental illness, I can put you away. It's fine. We don't look at mental health in this country. Are we going to treat it like something where we want to care for people? We don't care for old people in this country.
Nope.
Why the hell would we care for a mentally ill person in this country? Like, we really hate old people in America. Like, can't stand them. They smell like mothballs. Oh, we hate old people. Oof. Your raggedy ass wig. Fuck your diapers. Oh. Like, seriously. Don't like elderly people. Who do you think is filling up these homeless shelters? It's elderly people.
Right.
Patrick Todd says, I will honk, but I make sure it's a quick one, less aggressive. I'm such a bitch. I'm not honking at shit. Living out here, I don't honk at anybody.
Good.
I got hit trying to cross the border. I did like this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a hit. Yes. Damage was done. Please don't shoot me. I don't know who the fuck is Cartel Connie and who's not. I'm not trying to find out the hard way. I'm so polite when I get cut off now.
That's right.
The way we treat seniors is the most damning evidence of our society. MK946. Yeah. We don't give a fuck about old people. Let's take their money, throw them in a facility. You know why? A big reason why? Because we don't have the means to take care of them.
We certainly have the money to, if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, from a government, federal level, yeah, sure. But from a familial level, it's frightening on the realities of your parents getting old when you don't own anything.
That's right.
And maybe they're in debt. How many stories did you hear about someone that got a reverse mortgage, got sick in their old years, maybe with Alzheimer's, dementia, insert old person disease here. A family member takes time off work to take care of them. That's hard to do if said old person doesn't have enough money coming in to support both of you. Not everybody's got money to pay for a care provider. Not everybody has a family big enough or connected enough to want to switch off shifts to take care of Paw, called you a whore when you wore that dress to prom in 87, and maybe you haven't talked to him since. Right? Someone says we force seniors to be president against their will. That's funny. And that's another frightening reality. I know people, I'm sure you know people, I'm sure there's people watching the show right now that have people in their life that they might be taking care of. Can't work because they have to take care of this person. That's a 24-hour job. They can't drive. I didn't know that. Recently, my father has been diagnosed with dementia. Lost his license. It's a 24-hour job. He's difficult now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not the same man. Whoever that guy was, he's gone now. Sometimes he tries to fight his way out, but no, he's gone. You know, that's hard for people to do for X amount of months or years, and then it's over. Mm-hmm. And if you don't own a family home, then what? God forbid your parent has a reverse mortgage, then what? Especially if you don't qualify. They didn't leave you anything. How many stories have I had about somebody being down and out? Oh, I took care of my mom and then she died and now, bam. And these are people that were contributing members of society that received Social Security and maybe a pension of some kind, and maybe even were homeowners. You think this government is set up to give a hot damn about mentally ill people who can be violent? Oh, hell no. Hell no. That's the reality that you should be afraid of. That's the reality that I'm afraid of. I don't have anything. I barely get by with this show. And I hope one of my kids comes to take care of me when I'm about to go to the hereafter. But if they don't want to, I'm not mad at them. Maybe they just can't afford it. I don't mean they don't love me. It's just the cold reality of living in capitalism.
Very true.
That's why I watched this thing. Are you have to go, Toussaint? I know it's late.
I'm all right.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched this thing, and it's true crime BS. You know, part of what I think I mentioned this on the Champagne Room, and the Champagne Room got a little dark, and we'll get a little dark here before we go. This woman committed a horrible crime. It's disgusting what she did. It's horrible. One of the most horrible things I've ever heard in my life. It was horrible and insane at the same time. So my sick sense of humor, at some points I was like, I kind of want to laugh, but I shouldn't because of the way they're acting. A woman comes home. She's got a son. Her son has a girlfriend, like an adult son. I think the woman might dibble dabble a little bit of the. Anyway, she comes home, and her son lives like in a basement thing in her house, and she's looking for her son. She comes home, doesn't see him, and then looks down, sees a bucket at the stairs, and her son's head is in the bucket. I didn't think this story was real. I'm watching this and like, Dr. Claus is home, man, this story. Because to me, nothing encapsulates America like this, right? Like, why? Why do we have this? Why do we have this? Let's say why we have it. And this, I hope this all plays into the last caller's point about the fear of this oncoming doom. I think the doom is here currently. So like any mom that sees her son's head in a bucket, she calls 911. And let me see if I can find this. Because the call is, it's pretty insane. I can't lie. Can you see it on the screen?
It's loading.
Okay. Is it up now?
No.
Damn it.
Okay. It's loading. It's up.
Okay. Thank you.
In the middle of the night in a quiet neighborhood in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the mother of 24-year-old Chad Therian heads down to her son's basement bedroom. She just heard his girlfriend leave, and noticing that his light is still on, she heads down to check in on him. But she doesn't make it all the way into his room. Before she gets there, she notices a bucket at the foot of the basement stairs. She knows it doesn't belong there, and the towel placed precariously over it seems out of place as well. She lifts the towel to see what's inside, but it's not at all what she expects or wants to see. She screams up to her boyfriend, who comes down and witnesses the horror inside the bucket for himself, then calls 911.
I have no clue what's happening. My girl swears that she's found her severed head of her son in the basement. Did you go down there?
I'm not going to lie. If I'm the 911 operator, I'm like, oh, God, these guys high again. Right?
Kind of freaked out.
Law enforcement is dispatched to the home, but not even they will be prepared for what they're about to discover at the house, or once they track down one of the most despised criminals in the state's history. Welcome back to Crime A to Z, where
Okay, sorry. Let me try to fast forward this. I don't give a shit about that.
on November 23, 1997, to parents Marla and Arturo Carminado. The family originally resided in Evanston, Illinois, but eventually moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Growing up in Green Bay, Taylor faced a lot of challenges in her childhood, including both losses and a less than ideal home environment. When she was 12 years old, her mother died from liver cirrhosis, a result of her alcoholism. With Taylor, her brother, and her father left to grieve, Taylor's behavior deteriorated at school, and by 7th grade, she began receiving therapy. At some point during high school, she was expelled for fighting and would ultimately move to Texas to live with her grandparents to finish out her senior year. It's not clear whether she successfully graduated or not. A few years after she'd been sent to live with her grandparents, Taylor's father, Arturo, was arrested back in Wisconsin. He would eventually be tried and convicted of second-degree sexual assault of a child, receiving a 12-year sentence. But Taylor was moving on with her life. The same year her father was arrested, 2018, she met a man named Warren Chabot. The young couple hit it off, committed to the point of getting their names tattooed to each of their necks. And in 2020, they got married and both had their last names legally changed to Shabusiness. The pair relocated several times within Texas, then ultimately moved back to Green Bay, where Taylor was originally from. She tried to earn money by creating and selling crafts like dream catchers and jewelry, and also by making a plea for financial support on GoFundMe.
Hi, I'm Taylor Shabusiness, and I'm a very hardworking, dedicated individual that's broke and really needs money to help get that swole on. So if you could please donate to this GoFundMe page, be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Did she say she need help getting that swole on?
She sure did.
Does she mean she needs to go to the gym? I'm so confused.
She is too.
I'm really confused. I don't know what the swole is.
Thank you.
Both Taylor and Warren had their share of run-ins with the law. In 2020, Taylor was arrested for battery, threatening an officer, and resisting arrest. She pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 3 years of probation, along with 60 days in jail. But she had no interest in actually serving those 60 days and skipped bail. Then, when she was arrested again for skipping bail, resisting arrest again, and being in possession of drug paraphernalia and other charges, despite it all, Taylor was only given additional probation and not required to serve any time. Warren's run-in with the law was also drug-related. In 2021, he was arrested for conspiracy to distribute methamphetamines and sentenced to 2 years in prison. And, not being shy about his arrest, Warren Shabusiness, or Shabizness, as he misspelled it on his profile, took to Facebook to try to clear his name, claiming, "I'm locked up on federal charges because I was framed." He goes on to explain how he pled to a deal, and that people should plan on Warren Shabusiness to be out soon. In October of 2021, shortly before Warren was arrested, the couple welcomed a son that they named Mateo. With her husband behind bars and life's events continuing to spiral downward, including the devastating blow of her brother being killed in a motorcycle accident in 2022.
So what's crazy to me, not so much about this, because he's actually giving a relatively decent backstory on the person. And I want to say, I understand that crazy violent crimes have happened since the beginning of history. I get that. That being said, the tools to do certain things are different, right? You don't really have to chop anybody's head off. And we can identify certain behaviors better than we could, let's say, Jack the Ripper's days, right?
Right.
So just to kind of fall on one's laurels and say, oh, well, violent things have happened since the beginning of time. It's just what it is. And shrug your shoulders. I think you're kind of a shitty person. So don't say that. Because we have the ability to identify when someone is troubled.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do to people that, back to the whole thing about how do we treat the mentally ill? If you can function enough, because no one wants to be mentally ill. You don't get like mentally ill gift cards for the Kohl's.
Kohl's bucks.
Right? You don't get mentally ill bucks. Oh God, another one of those mentally ill people spending their mentally ill bucks at Walmart again. No, you don't.
Oh, it's Kohl's Cash. Sorry.
Kohl's Cash. You don't get. Oh man, I really wanted to get that fucking turtleneck, but I'm a few bucks short. You think Meemaw's got any more of that mentally ill Kohl's Cash? Right? So the fact that we can identify problems, identify people in crisis that are like, this person has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, just maybe, we should watch them a little closer. If you can function enough, nobody gives a damn about you.
Yeah.
Go check the school system. There's people that really need to be in special education, but they can function enough. But what happens when you function enough, but you're still not there? Oh, teachers are going to shit on you for the next 12 years if you stay in school that entire time. You got to be mentally ill to wear a turtleneck. What if it's a Ben said, then where the fuck did all my gift cards come from? And I'm not saying we have to institutionalize everybody, because again, we don't see institutions as a place of help and hope. We see institutions, when we say institution, we think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and you don't want to see Taylor Business as the putting a pillow over in the Indian's head. But how do you, if you're dealing with something like mania, you know it's a great drug you shouldn't do that everyone does when they're dealing with mania? Methamphetamine. Methamphetamine you should probably stay away from. But you're trying to cope, you might not have a lot of skills, you can get by a little bit. It's gonna make it seem like it should make sense.
Taylor continued to abuse drugs, and she would ultimately cross paths with Shad Therian, a longtime friend who she had previously dated back in high school. Shad Therian was born on September 7th, 1997.
And do young people just look older now, or do they look younger to you?
He looks old.
He looks kind of old, huh?
For sure.
It is. I think we ultimately, why I would play this is because I think we throw people away, and I think people get hidden under the cracks if you can kind of sort of function.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very confident when I say I think most people don't know when someone's on drugs.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't dealt with hard drugs.
For sure.
If you've never been around meth or opioids, you probably don't know certain signs to look for to see if somebody's on them. You might think someone's being a little cokey.
Well, you just know someone's acting strange.
Yeah.
You don't know the cause.
No. And sometimes when you're dealing with mania and meth use can look very similar. Very, very similar.
That's when you take apart the TV.
And you're just not put it together again.
Well, yeah.
That shit is not getting put back together again at all.
Gotta see how it works.
You're gonna ride your bike around town at 4 a.m. like it's 4 p.m. Yeah, no. The ideas you have, right? And someone says true crime is super reactionary. Of course it is. So is fucking oh God, what is that movie? Death Wish. Nothing is more reactionary than Death Wish. You think we're not living in, what is it, Rambo? You think we're not living in Death Wish days right now? Come on.
Yeah.
Go save your holier than thou shoes for your boring life. Watch true crime and Lifetime and live a little. Eat the peanut brittle, okay? But, you know, you don't think when you're getting high out of your mind, that the person you're getting high out of your mind with might not be that mentally stable. I think maybe it's a bad idea. And sometimes these things happen and the assaults are on women. Not long ago, a couple years ago, during, was Trump in office? Maybe Trump was in office. Maybe it was that long ago. But there was a hashtag that was popular for a minute and then people stopped caring. Missing and murdered Indigenous women. Did I say it right?
Sounds right.
There was a woman who was buying dope. The dealer tied her up and raped her. He let her go. She got free, killed the dude, stole his dope. She got charged for murder. Right. Do you have COVID? No? You okay? Do you need some water?
Yeah, I got some water. Thank you.
Is it hitting too close to home?
Getting all choked up.
Getting all choked up over there? And someone said it looks like Keith Morrison. That's fucked up. I kind of believe that woman. You know, she said dude was methed out of his mind and assaulted her. I believe that. Why is that out of the realm of possibility? The state was like, nope, you just wanted to rob dude. And you came there and you solicited sex and you robbed him. Like, you know, maybe she would have fucked him on her call, but I think something horrible happened. Been around people that have been really fucking high. Not a fun time. They're not very sane. Ask Rick James. Not a good time anymore. This young man found out the hard way how much of a not good time it was. Because the woman, they had choked. I won't play it because this guy's, you don't need to listen anymore. They had choke chains, like to choke each other, like dog choke chains. And they put them on one another. And then I guess he said, I'll go first. And she choked him till he turned blue, till blood came out of his mouth. And she cut his head off. And then she commenced to using his kitchen knives from the house, cut off every limb. She was so far gone that she left the head at the stairs. She confesses to all this. The confession's in the video. Very matter-of-factly, she confesses to all this. And the police treat it as if, you know, she knew what she was doing. What do you mean she knew what she was doing? When she was 14, when she was 16, and I believe, again, when she was 18, she had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Every time. Nobody cared. You want to read that?
Political Pain says, I won an award for reporting I did on human trafficking, which basically showed how social workers were hand-holding cops to not criminalize trafficked girls who were viewed as oppositional criminals. He also says, police always default to seeing someone as criminal.
Yes. Everybody's a criminal. I do have to play this part because this part is one of the most insane things I've ever heard. This is this guy's mom calling police.
I have no clue what's happening. My girl swears that she's found her head of her son in the basement in a bucket. Did you go down there? I went down. I can't tell what the f***. Part of my language. I'm kind of a little freaked out.
Shad's mother joins in on the call.
Hello? Hi, Tara. So can you tell me what's going on? Are you positive my son's head is in a bucket? I know it's in my basement. What makes you think that? Because I looked in the bucket.
Am I wrong for laughing when she said that?
I mean, it's kind of a stupid question.
What makes you think his head's in the butt? Because I fucking saw it, asshole. That's what makes me think that.
Well, you never know who you're dealing with, so you do have to like spoon feed questions like that.
I mean, they're telling you. You hear the guy go, "Hey, man, that's some fucked up shit I just saw." He literally says, "That's some fucked up shit I just saw." My son's head is in a bucket. What makes you think your son's head's in the bucket? Bitch, because I told you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's never a right way to react. I have people say, like, you always hear cops say, if your son's head was really in a bucket, why weren't you screaming? Everybody handles trauma differently.
Right.
So I can't pass judgment on anybody for how they handle that extremely frightening reality. There's a lot of things that you don't get ready for as a parent. You can't. There's no way. You could be like, oh man, Thad's girlfriend's kind of weird. I don't like her. You think maybe she's going to key the car, throw a brick through the window. Jason laughed at the end of 7. I did.
I did.
I was all into it until Brad Pitt started trying to act.
Ooh.
What's in the box? Come on. What's in the box? I agree with political pain here. Dispatchers are Joe Payne are trained to set up cases for police, so this dispatcher might have already suspected she did it. Oh, I believe that. What makes you think the head is in the bucket? Because I see the fucking head in the bucket. You think I'd call you if I cut his head off and put it in a bucket for
She
you?
could have said because I put it there.
What did you see? Exactly what I told you.
Again, I'm not mad at this lady's indignance.
Right.
Okay, ma'am, what did you see in the bucket? What did I tell you I saw in the bucket? How many times do I have to tell you this horrible shit?
Tell me what I said. Say it back to me.
Say it. Yeah, you repeat what I said. You got it fucking right there, smart guy. Come out there and I'll choke you through the fucking cubicle. How do you like that? Your head will be in a goddamn bucket.
Where's the rest of the body at? No idea.
And he look at it. Oh, head in the bucket, huh? Hey guys, I got an old head in the bucket. If his head's in the bucket, then where's the rest of his body, huh? In the pool room with Colonel Mustard? Motherfucker. Do you think I went on a Scooby-Doo expedition to find the rest of him if I saw a head in the bucket?
I stopped at the head, sir.
Can you have a little bit, just this much empathy? If what Joe is saying is correct, right? You're trained to set up the case for the police. Do people that do drugs do crazy shit? We're talking about people doing drugs, doing crazy shit. Confess to crimes all the time, right? That being said, come on. Ma'am, sit down. Law enforcement's coming. Don't contaminate the crime scene. No, they don't want to say that. They want to just give this lady shit. I hope that guy got a reprimand.
When's the last time you saw your son?
Well, I guess today is Wednesday, so I picked him up from his dad on Monday. He was here a couple of hours, then he left with Taylor.
Who's that?
Taylor Coronado.
You know how to spell his last name?
Police arrive about 10 minutes later.
Did you both see this? I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the f*** it is, man. I had bad vision and she Where's Stainless too? I always come see it. Where's it at?
Right there. Look right, there's a bucket with tall on it.
Green Bay's finest right here.
Mm.
Green Bay's finest is on the case. Do you think the cops think these people are full of shit?
I don't know what they think. Maybe they think everyone's full of shit.
Sure. But you know they think these people are full of shit. Like they came there and you hear the guy going, I didn't know what it was, man. I saw it and I fucking dropped it. Because they are kind of matter of fact about finding a head in the bucket.
They are.
I'm not going to lie. I was a little taken aback by that. I was like, whoa, you guys are kind of acting like the neighbor's dog shit on your yard. Or like I had a friend once and someone tried to break in his house and he was home and he got scared, as normal people do, and hid. And so the guy couldn't get in. And so the guy was he was trying to get into his back door, his backyard. And so the burglar took a shit in his yard.
Mm.
And they are acting like my friend trying to direct the cops to where the assailant's turd was.
Yes.
For the CSI team. Yeah. The turd is over there behind the hydrangeas. Yes. It was a long one. Long coiled up one. I was shocked myself, officer. Saw the whole thing. There's a level of calm. Again, maybe that is just shock. I don't want to know. I hope no one knows.
Mm-hmm.
The couple lead them to the basement, where at the bottom of the stairs there is indeed a bucket. The officers lift the towel themselves to reveal the severed head and male genitalia. They call for backup.
I know you're busy over there, but
the cop is like, oh, fuck. Yeah, this is real, dude. I know you guys are busy, and we're going to need all kinds of backup and help. Bring the therapy crew in, too. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. This is horrible. I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they find her relatively easy, right? Because she's insane.
Yeah.
I think everyone watching right now agrees that this woman is certifiably insane. She hasn't cleaned herself up. She admits to forgetting his head and his bing bang because she said that's what she liked about him the most was his face, his bing bang. That's why she put it in the bucket. Like, don't forget his head and his dick. Two things I love.
Mm.
So I'm just going to give you a little bit of the confession.
And when they told her that they found Shad's head in a bucket, she responded,
A few hours ago, police were dispatched to an address on Stony Brook. Well, they found a kind of disturbing stuff at the house there. A lot of blood. Basically, Shad's head.
and then she has a revelation.
Damn, the head. Yeah, I can't believe I left that.
Police continue what was less like an interrogation and more like a free-flowing faucet of increasingly gory events. Shabazz volunteers in graphic and disturbing detail how the couple's drug-fueled sex turned into a bloody, savage murder, dismemberment, and everything in between. They didn't have to pull hard to extract any of the details.
She's kind of chilling.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, man, shit. I knew I forgot something. Cheese, wallet,
Bread
hot
in the
sauce,
milk.
head.
How could I forget the bread and the milk?
There I go again.
Mm. It's on top of the car with the baby.
God damn, she definitely. Like, seriously. This is But again, identified at 14 years old, 16 years old, didn't matter.
Yeah.
How do you cope with the mania? More drugs. It's okay. It's okay. They hired a what do you call the people? A therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what the therapist says.
Disease or defect to her plea, which meant that her trial would be delayed since she would need to be evaluated before trial. By November, the court ruled that she was competent to stand trial.
How? Also, cases like this are extremely political. When I say that, when you have a case that's been sensationalized in the media like this, and we don't live in Green Bay, a lot of people don't live in Wisconsin, so you guys probably never heard of this before. I never heard of Taylor's Show Business because I don't live in Wisconsin and I haven't been to Green Bay since 2015. Sorry, I'm out of the loop. It's political because if you don't charge her, if you say she's not guilty of mental defect, you got to put her in a facility. She didn't know what she was doing. You're not going to win the next election. You're the DA. You're soft on crime. The girl that cut the guy's head off, ate his dick. They're going to make up all kinds of stuff about you. So you have to charge this woman. She attacked her lawyer multiple times for no reason. You can say, she was just playing it up for that insanity defense. Or you can say they did find her not hiding. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't on the run. She wasn't done with her body errands. So, got to charge her.
But her defense team was persistent. Prior to the trial, they made numerous attempts to have her declared mentally impacted at the time of the offense and presently. But law enforcement testified that Show Business had not shown any signs of psychosis or delusion.
What does law enforcement know about psychosis or delusion? Like, seriously. What does law enforcement know about psychosis and delusion? Like, I'm being serious here. As a person that worked with people constantly in a state of psychosis and delusion, unless you are trying to swat at invisible flies or yelling at people that aren't there, no one knows what psychosis looks like. No one knows what mania looks like. If this woman is very casually telling you that while she's methed out of her mind and still high, choked her boyfriend to the point that blood came out. There's a part I didn't show where she says, you ever love something so much you just got to kill it? That's me. I just love so hard, I just have to kill things. And the cop sat there and listened to it as if this is just who she is.
It's just another Facebook post.
It's on a Facebook post. We checked her Twitter. We checked her Instagram. Like, seriously. Why are these people the go-to resource on mania and mental health? Sorry, just doesn't hold water with me. This is why I never get on any juries.
They noted that she was calm, coherent, and involved at all points of the arrest, interrogation, and beyond. They testified about how she was even able to accurately recount every detail of her murderous actions during her interrogations, all of which were consistent with the evidence. But Show Business was still not going down without a fight.
If you're not a homeless person pissing yourself and yelling about aliens, then apparently you're totally competent.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Mental professionals told you this woman is not mentally competent since she was 14. She was competent enough to get by. We're just going to keep pushing you through. Because not everybody cuts off their boyfriend's head.
No. Certainly not.
No. A lot of dudes do kill their girlfriends.
Yes.
A lot of people do other horrible things when you're stuck in a mania. But I get it. Not everybody does this. This is out there. But you're going to be hearing stories like this in this election cycle about who's going to be tougher on crime.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to charge more mentally ill people as being coherent? Bill Clinton stops his election to go to the execution of a mentally ill man. Donald Trump put a mentally ill woman to death. The last woman on the federal death row. I didn't see too many Facebook posts about it. I guess you guys aren't. I get it. There's no hashtag.
Literally. During a hearing in February of 2023, Shabusiness's attorney asked the judge to allow 2 more weeks for a scheduled defense expert to complete his report. Then, to everyone's surprise, Shabusiness conveniently and perhaps deliberately exhibited the not-so-stable behavior of attacking her own attorney. She took an elbow to his head before sheriff's officers were able to stop the attack and get her calmed down. They sat her against a door as the situation de-escalated. The courtroom was cleared and Shabusiness was ultimately let out. The attack did not help her cause. She was still determined to be mentally competent to stand trial.
Nothing's going to help your cause. Because you are the prop that I put in front of voters and let them know that I'm tough on whatever I want to say I'm tough on. When I'm the DA and I want to position myself to run for a higher office, I can remind people that I put the crazy woman behind bars.
It did, however, make her short 1 defense attorney. It also earned her a couple of full-time escorts and handcuffs shackled at her waist during the hearing to rule on her attorney's resulting request to withdraw from the case. His request was granted. Shabusiness got a new attorney who fought one last time to have her deemed incompetent to stand trial. He claimed that the psychological evaluation from November of the prior year was out of date. The defense hired a forensic psychologist.
This is what fucked me up right here. This is what fucked me up right here. This woman right here saying all the things that's wrong with this young lady.
To interview and analyze Shabusiness, but Shabusiness refused to meet with her for months. And when she tried, Shabusiness threw a chair at her. Then, a week before the actual trial was to begin, the judge granted the defense's final request for a competency hearing. The forensic psychologist had finally been able to meet with Shabusiness and took the stand to testify. Her testimony started out strong and convincing.
What is your opinion as it relates to your evaluation and assessment of Taylor Shabusiness?
My opinion is that she qualifies for the not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. She wasn't responsible for the criminal conduct because at the time she lacked substantial capacity to both appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct at the time the homicide occurred, but also she lacked volitional control. She couldn't conform her conduct to the requirements of law. She was lacking in her ability to control herself, the volitional control.
But then her assessment began to take on a slightly less than clinical level of detail.
And did you talk about her presentation when she presents herself? Do you have comments about that?
Yes, my comments about that are that it's very a very, very unusual, what we call presentation. How is she looking? How does she talk? How does she interact? Everything. What's going on in her mind, whatnot. And it's really, really unusual. And I searched my own 32-year memory bank here, and it's exceptionally unusual.
How about her facial expressions? Can you give some commentary on that from what you've seen?
Very unusual. She's been described as smirky. Smirky. She has inappropriate, grinning, weird grinning when she's talking about the crimes. People have interpreted it to be like laughing at what she did. At times, in the jail, with evaluators, with me, at times, briefly, it's very strange. Other times looking, I can mimic it, very scowly. A lot of people interpret it superficially to be grinning. Grinning at all, but getting a kick out of everything. Not me. Based on my experience and training, that's a psychotic person right there. That's what's causing this really weird, bizarre. And I'm telling you.
Again, there's something Dusty said in the comments. He said, Jason, I do laugh inappropriately. Sorry. It happens. Like, I remember, as this was playing, when I first saw this as playing in the background, as I was waiting for something to upload, and I turned around and I was like, what did that mom say? What did I tell you was in the bucket? Why would I? Where's the body? I don't know. Fucko. But you heard the woman say she had no idea what she was doing.
Yeah.
Dusty said something. He goes, this is the kind of stuff that people use as evidence to say so-and-so is truly evil.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Dusty. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'm not trying to say this woman was truly evil. I'm trying to say that what she did was really horrible. Really fucking horrible. What I'm trying to say is, like, these people are made, first of all. And I feel confident that this could have been prevented had we had a different society. But this is the world we live in now. We don't care about anybody. And if anything, this story goes, well, let's just put more of these people in a facility and lock them up and throw away the key. And as we said earlier, if you don't give a damn about elderly people, you really think anybody gives a damn about mentally ill people? Bitch, please. What say you two, son?
I mean, they have places for criminally insane people, but then they seem to open the doors and just let them out for political reasons every few decades or something. It's like Arkham Asylum, how they just keep getting out.
Arkham Asylum.
It's my only real reference.
Professor John says Kamala syndrome. What is Kamala syndrome?
Inappropriately laughing.
Is that inappropriate laughs maniacally? I'm not gonna laugh, dude. That mom had me kind of. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, that's why I got COVID.
No.
That's why I got COVID. The whole thing, just thinking about it, I've been thinking about this for a while. It's like, wow. Dusty says many people benefit from involuntary hospitalization. Yep. There's a reason why we don't like it. I do think there's a reason why people are trying to push it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're ready to have a conversation about involuntary hospitalization. I just don't think we're ready. Kind of like harm reduction. I don't know if we're really ready to have that conversation, really. There's a lot of conversations that I'd like to have, and sometimes I don't think we're ready for it, sadly.
Yeah.
And this is one of them, you know. I'd cackle more if I wasn't feeling so horrible.
No. Bring back the cackle.
Bring back the hashtag. Bring back the cackle. But I think this is just a failure. To me, I look at this like this is a failure. These are massive failures.
Yes.
And this woman is in currently real prison. She's still fighting to get out of real prison and get into a facility. Good luck with that one.
Imagine you stole a car. You end up in prison. You end up with this as your bunkmate.
Oof.
You realize this person does not belong here with you.
It is like that. I have a friend who committed a capital offense. And I was watching a Netflix show. And it's called the Worst Roommates Ever. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Worst Roommates Ever. And the first person they do, Dorothea Puente, I think is her name. They profile. My friend says, "Oh, that was my bunkmate."
No, man.
I was like, "Word?" It's like, what was that like? She was like, she was quiet. She was nice. They let her work in the kitchen. I said, they let her work in the kitchen? Didn't she go to prison for poisoning people?
Oh, man. Let her work in the kitchen.
They let her work in the kitchen. But, yeah, you stole a car and that's your bunkmate. 700 club prayer cloth for Jason. Yeah, the phone lines are down because we have to wrap up. And Toussaint has to try on more Shein pantsuits.
Stop.
Victory lap of the first black woman with good hair in the White House.
I thought pantsuits were Hillary Clinton.
Well, you were against them when it was Hillary, but now that you're with her.
I
think you have to say her, right? Like that. Be sassy with it.
Yes. 3 snaps and a Z-formation.
Then that's what's going to happen. And I'm cutting into the time. She's got a lime green one.
No. Because she's Jamaican. He went tropical.
Hella tropical colors. Can you imagine Kamala Harris just walking through New York with a lime green pantsuit with the Jill Scott? Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden.
Good grief.
That's her campaign commercial. Just a sea of multiracial people behind her having a New York good time. Fire hydrants open.
Fire hydrants for the president. Just open them. Everybody just open them. She's here.
Jason needs to cut into Hassan's audience. You think those people would give a shit about anything I have to say?
You could be a black friend stopping by like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Thank you, Gumby. I'm Gumby, damn it. Thank you very much. But yeah, this woman is in prison right now. And she is not getting out. You are in there for political reasons, ma'am. You're not getting out. No one's talking about you. unless it's a true crime podcast, and they're only going to talk about you in the context in which Dusty put it. People are going to use you as evidence that there is true evil in this world.
Yep.
That's how I feel. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. On that note, I haven't eaten today. Can you eat during COVID? I'm supposed to not taste anything. I taste stuff.
You taste stuff? That's good.
You think it was a false positive?
You never know. Do you have another test to take?
Wow, you just think I got tests willy-nilly. Who the fuck are you?
Hey, man. I don't know.
Do I gotta talk to you like homeboy's mom?
Let me give it to you over the counter.
Did I tell you I had more tests to take?
Don't they come in a 2-pack?
My date took the other tests. They are negative, but I am positive, and the positive lines was so strong. Tucson.
Really?
Oh my God. I've never seen lines come in that strong.
You're very welcome, political pain. You've never seen lines come in that strong since the last time you got pregnant.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I've seen pregnancy tests that don't have lines this strong. Some lines came through singing Negro spirituals and shit. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. That COVID test. I was so sure. I gotta tell Ben because I gave him a hug. He probably don't have it. Maybe I have like a weak version of COVID.
A weak version?
Is there a weak version you can have?
There's different strains. I know the strains that first came out were the strong ones. And then now people just get COVID every few weeks.
I do. This test is almost as old as one of my kids. This test is hella old. It might even be a pregnancy test I'm taking. I don't know.
Stop it.
I was like, I put it in my nose. It says here in your rectum.
No. It says to take a video of it and send it in.
Once I woke up this morning, I was like, oh no, the cough is in my lungs. I was like, oh. And then I was going to try to beat COVID with my mind.
No.
You know how I am whenever I get like, I'm not sick. I'm going to beat it with my mind. Like, these people have no idea how many shows I do. And I'm like, I'm going off air for a little bit. You know, delete COVID. Yeah, I thought I got delete COVID. Homegirl looked at me and she said, with such care, right? Only someone that gives a damn about you looks at you like this and says, I think you should take a COVID test. And, you know, I didn't want to hear that. I was like, I think you should take a COVID test. Raw COVID, the whole house. And very supportive for the whole process because I'm a baby. Okay, you're gonna have to put it up your nose all the way. Yep.
Oof.
Gotta wait till those eyes water. Wait. They're watering now. Okay. I think that's good. I needed that.
That test ain't no joke.
Dude. I was not gonna take that test. Those tests have been staring at me. I'm like, I'm not taking them. I'm fine. It's just a cold. I'm fine. It's a cold. I'm fine. The colors of things that have been coming out of me, insane. I'm fine.
Oof.
I'm fine. I can taste everything. I'm fine. I'm fine.
So you don't think it's like acid reflux and like the flu or something?
I don't know. I don't know. But she goes, uh-oh, it's only been like a minute and it doesn't look good.
No.
And I was sitting there. That's why the show was late. Because I was like, no. I was like, no. I'm like Vegas. I'm in Vegas playing roulette. Like, no. I put it all on 15 black.
Thank you, Dizzle.
And then I was like, in my mind, I was like, it's not that. She goes, it's pretty profound. I want to show you the lines are so dark. I've never seen them that dark. You know how people want to put their COVID tests on social media, like, oh, I'm down, I got COVID, and they have like these faint little lines.
Yeah.
Nah, man, this COVID was strong as hell.
That's whack.
John Henry ass COVID. So, super spreader live stream. That's what we're doing here. Super spreader live stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. Oh, my medicine, my ivermectin. It's not ivermectin.
And drink some bleach.
I was so intent not to miss this show that I would have done a shot of bleach to make sure I got the show on.
You crazy.
Get a bleach shot in before we go. Come on.
Don't.
They need me.
Don't die, Jason.
Jason, like my COVID bigger than your COVID. Wind Spirit says, Wind Spirit, I've never had COVID, dude. If I've had it, I didn't know. I stay away from you people. I live in the cuts. People got to have to go through a litany of tests before they come in my house.
Yeah. Ain't just taking your shoes off anymore.
Oh, I'm taking temperatures.
Yep.
Remember how people looked at them fucking trains in China?
Yeah.
I got a hazmat suit on. New. Big black COVID. She left me for the BBD. She left me for what's the BBD? Well, I had the BBD. Oh no, man, you don't have the BBD. The other guy's got the BBD. What are you talking about?
Ooh, I didn't want to say it.
What?
I'll put it on the screen right now.
The Bleach Boys by the Dead Milkmen?
No.
The other comment. That's what she said.
Stop. This comment.
Oh, wow. No, he didn't. I was already sick before I went to go pick him up.
He gave me COVID.
See, there you go. Maybe, hey, what comes around goes back around again. Thank you very much, Bay Planner. Toussaint, thank you. Yeah. I'm going to try to be here Tuesday. If not, hopefully some other person of color from TIR will be on there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Toussaint, for helping me so much this week as I've been having crazy problems with everything.
Yeah, you're very welcome, sir.
You've been behind the scenes doing a great job. So can I give you one of these? Also, last week, Toussaint celebrated a birthday.
That's right.
She turned 25 for the first time, the second time. So, thank you all. I'm going to go cry a little bit.
Oh.
Thank you, Pascal, for coming on, even though you were invisible for the majority of the show.
That was so funny.
How did you get... Oh, thank you for the cramp. All women are bad. I love the cramps.
Oh, and that's...
See, more birthday shots on MT, just when you thought it was over.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I'll remember at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, well, don't you dare tell me.
Thank you, Vicky.
Oh, for people that actually do like the opening theme song to the main show, Bitter Lake's drummer celebrated his birthday.
Oh.
Alex Miller turned 38. Shout out to Alex.
Very cool.
And we got it all right.
I think so.
Prester John says I can't catch COVID because you're not real, Prester John. Take off your fucking Scooby-Doo mask and show everybody that you're Amy Therese. Would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you damn meddling kids.
Thank you, John. Feel better, Jason.
All right, guys. For real. Let's go. Let's go home, Toussaint.
All right, let's go.
1, 2, 3. We are
out.